for life.
Good morning. It is Thursday, February 12th, 2026. The Anti-Hero Broadcast is the news entertainment broadcast for veterans, first responders, and all blue-collar Americans. This show is brought to you by Human Performance. Go to hp-trt.com. Use promo code HERO. Save 20%, not only on your initial purchase of your testosterone, but every single month you'll save 20% off using promo code HERO. Everything from testosterone, peptides, Anavar, Deca, you name it, they got it for your men's fitness jersey. Journey, second time I've done that. Go to hp-trt.com. Use promo code HERO. Save 20%. And GhostBed. Go to ghostbed.com/antihero. Save 10% on their mattresses. They have pillowcases, cooling patented technology sheets, mattress toppers for your mattress. They got everything. They got 60,000 plus 5-star rating and reviews, all handcrafted here in the United States and Canada. If you need to replace something in the bedroom other than the wife, go to ghostbed.com/antihero. Save 10%, and it'll tell them that we sent you. And Elevated Silence, get a suppressor for your weapon. Go to elevatedsilence.com. Use promo code antihero15. Save 15% on your can. Exercise your Second Amendment rights. It is your right to have a suppressor, and that process is not as difficult as one would think. Jim will walk you through it. Go to elevatedsilence.com. Use promo code antihero15. Save 15%.
And don't forget to join our Patreon, which is growing. We're like maxed out, or our numbers are up higher than they've ever been.
Really?
So join Patreon exclusive on Tuesdays, exclusive content. You get gym pictures of me, you get workouts, where the gaming talk is in there. So join our Patreon. We appreciate it. Here's what the deal is, and we talked about this yesterday. We get a lot of messages, and it's hard to keep up. Yeah, it's hard to keep up on Instagram. So Patreon gives us more exclusivity to talk to you directly. We exchange phone numbers in there. We can chat. That's what our Patreon is for. And then don't forget to check out the antiherobroadcast.com store. Get all your cool anti-hero merchandise.
All right. So, topic of the day, the trans-Canadian shooter.
Ooh, bad news.
Well, Canada's getting a taste of it now.
Yeah.
Oh, Canada.
Here's before we dive all the way, here's an interesting thing. This is what I was thinking on the way here. What do we talk about? We talk about roid rage, right? Steroid, roid rage, and it's hormones. People that don't know, know a little bit about steroids, is steroids doesn't cause you to rage. What causes you to rage is the hormone imbalance.
Yeah.
So men will take testosterone in high levels. It will cause their estrogen to go up. So now they have male and female.
They're emotional.
They're emotional. Their estrogen and their testosterone are levels where they're a man and a woman at the same time. So a lot of these people that I think are going mentally ill, that are getting on hormones and doing things, a lot of that rage and this anger you're seeing might be mental health, but it could also be imbalance in hormones or how they're taking them or what they're doing. But now, yeah, you're seeing a complete imbalance of people's brains. And I have no problem. I was going to do the phone call thing. Caitlyn Jenner transitioned, right? Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner at what, like 60, 65? Mm-hmm. You know what? I have no care in the world. You're 50, 67 years old, and you've lived your whole life. But I'm saying you lived your whole life, right?
Yeah.
Your brain is developed. You've all the experiences in the world, and you decided to switch gender. Great. Your 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 14-year-old will tell you the first person that says I love you to them is their soulmate. Their brain doesn't know the world. So when they tell you they want to be a man or a woman and they're opposite of what they are, there's no way you should be able to get behind that as a parent and support that behavior, because their brain hasn't developed to the point they even understand all the consequences. And then you introduce drugs and hormones into their young system. It's a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
It's a disaster.
Look at not all of them. A lot of the recent mass shootings are transgender.
Yes. It's a combination of, I'm sure, mental health, because I'm not going to call it, is it, when I say normal, I'm going to put normal quotes. Is it normal to transition? I would say no. Do we see a lot of it because it's shoved in our face? Yes. But it's not normal to wake up and go, you know what? Today's the day.
So they're already starting off
in a different, mentally different. It's different. Yeah. Just like we call other conditions that people do that are unacceptable. This one is acceptable enough. And I think in an adult, you can do whatever you want. I agree with an adult. But when you got 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, I think it's in Arizona, they're fighting the drag people are fighting to be able to continue to do drag shows in front of juveniles. They banned it.
That's insane.
They banned it. Like 6-year-olds.
How do they have to even ban that? Where are they doing drag shows at? Schools?
All over. And this cross-dressers up at the podium with makeup and all this stuff on and going, I should have the right to dance in front of these children. I've been dancing in front of and it's like, what? What?
You shouldn't even have to ban something like that. That's not even something to ban.
Let the child develop. And even the parents, we see it all the time. Parents are transitioning their children. It should be illegal because the child is not old enough to know if the boy in 4th grade that passed him a note really loves him or not. Of course not. We're undeveloped at that point. So how do you allow them to make a conscious decision that they want to change their sex at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? It's insane that we have to have to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's insane we have to talk about it. But that's where we're at. That's what's going on. And that's leading, I believe, to these situations where there's mental illness, maybe already. Then you introduce the transition, and then the outside world and the making fun and all the other things that go with it. And
do you think that kids out, if they're not influenced by the outside world, would even think about transitioning?
No.
I don't think that. I think kids have behavior problems. I think kids have lots of different problems that get diagnosed, but I don't think gender confusion is one of them. I think that's an exterior issue that's being forced on them, and they're like, oh, I do. That is me.
Well, think about it. Let's say
gender dysphoria.
Yeah, like I guess it goes down. There's a whole rabbit hole. Like you want to be a football player, and you're like, well, I'm never gonna be a football player. I'm tiny. I'm 5'2", 120. I'm a male, and I'm never gonna be. I put a wig on and start dancing around. I'm gonna get attention. Like people are gonna be like, whoa, look at this. And maybe it's some type of illness where they go, I need attention. Some of it. And then, we went through the whole, obviously when I was a kid, to say you were gay was a huge deal. Like that was bad. Like there was a whole,
never happened.
Yeah. We went through that whole thing. And obviously there's a lot of gay people that had to be very quiet, not talk about it, but then it became accepted. I had no problem with that part of it. That part of it to me is that's your choice. When you start mutilating minds, mutilating minds,
yeah.
You start mutilating genitals, you start adding chemicals into the equation that were maybe like I said, testosterone was a taboo. Couldn't do it 10 years ago. It was bad.
Yeah.
Now you're going to go, here, girl, you want to be a boy? Just start jamming away in your glutes.
Men can't get testosterone by their doctors, by their primary care doctor. That's why you have to go to places like Human Performance. But children can get it administered by a doctor.
Correct. To transition as a girl. And go, oh, by the way, guess what? When you finally develop in 5 years and you're 20 and you're like, man, I changed my, guess what? That hair doesn't stop growing on your beard.
No,
that doesn't stop. That doesn't stop. It's there for the rest of your life. You've altered your body permanently. And now you have hair, beard, mustache. You're never going to get rid of it. And you might go, damn, that was a bad, and then maybe you go crazy. So it's.
Yeah. You get mad.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. All of society told me I should do
Damn,
it.
I changed. I get one shot, right? And then you changed, and now you have a beard the rest of your life, and you're like, man, I really like to go back to being a girl. You can't.
I think that it's important for parents to be present. So that's the first one, and to really shield children when they hear stuff like this, and the children get like, I think that like, no, it's not you, dude. It's not you at all. This is all mumbo jumbo bullshit.
That's why. And it sounds silly, but we put an age on drinking. We put an age on tobacco. We put an age on all these things that we consider bad.
Hurt your body.
But we don't put an age on transitioning. We don't put an age on hormones. You should have to develop as a human to a certain point in your life and go, okay, I'm 25 and I still want to be a girl. Enjoy. Do it up.
But that becomes
be the prettiest girl you can ever be.
The age-old thing is, well, we have to decide as a society when it's appropriate.
Yeah, and you have half the United States that thinks it's like 4 years old.
God, dude, that's so fucking awful.
Yeah.
Do you think it's mostly people that would say, well, not my kids, but other kids?
No, I think now we're to the point like these Seattle people and Karens and liberal white females. Probably the most dangerous thing on earth is a liberal white female. Yeah. They're loud and they're convincing people it's okay to have these wild thoughts. I mean, you wouldn't do it to a dog. You wouldn't buy a dog at the vet or the shelter and go, I want this dog to be a boy instead of a girl, and go get it operated on. You wouldn't do it to a dog. You do it to a kid? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, what? Like, you wouldn't do that to an animal. It's bizarre.
What do we know about this Canadian thing? I know there's not much. I
know
the
Jesse Van Rootsleen. There's a video I have. Obviously, mental health history. Guns removed from the house and then petitioned to be bought back in the house. Multiple. I don't know what they call them up there. Family member. It said a family member petitioned to get the guns back. There's got to be anger and hate. Like I said, you start out by killing your mother and your 11-year-old stepbrother before you leave the house, and then go.
That's oh my God, that's that's mental illness right there. On top of hormones, on top like sprinkled in some fucking hormone imbalance
Kill your mother.
to kill your own. We talked about that, didn't we?
Mhm.
Just recently, like the ability to
One of the guy I talked about that story. The guy
Yeah.
killed his mom.
to kill your mother.
How about killing your mother and your brother, not having any remorse and still being able to go carry out 6 more shootings? Like when you leave the house, you're like, just killed mom and brother. You don't like halfway to the school. You don't think that was a really fucked up thing.
Yeah.
You're just gone. You're down the road. You're to the school, and you kill 6 more people and then kill yourself. And it's.
Have they ever interviewed somebody like this before?
I mean, most of them kill themselves.
Yeah,
I think
what-
Stoneman Douglas guy is still alive. Most of these,
He wasn't trans though.
no, but I mean, most of them killed
The
themselves.
church, the Nashville church one was a trans that the
They
cop
killed.
went in.
Yeah, they killed.
Fucking smoked that dude or that chick or whatever she was.
It's bizarre, and the behavior's there. You see it. I mean, I got a video of the behavior. You want to play that video
Yeah.
one? This is the shooter. The video on the side randomly. I mean, there's obviously some problems there.
the fuck was that?
There's obviously some problems there. I don't know.
Oh my god, I feel for kids that don't have parents, dude.
Well,
That-
mom, we don't know. Again, we don't know
Mom,
life.
mom,
Mom.
maybe dads. Your dad should walk in and beat that laugh right out of you. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I get. I would beat it out of him, and then I would take him to a doctor, and if my son was like that, I would quit my job to make sure that he gets healthy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And this is just this is another country, obviously Canada, but
So
Think
he
about
says,
how many-
why does the laugh sound like Jimmy? We'll get Jimmy on in just a second.
yeah, just it's a slippery slope, man. We have to protect we say it over and over again, we have to protect our children.
Yeah.
And obviously pedophilia is horrible. But man, is not taking a young kid and manipulating their brain and having them change their sex and not letting them develop and then dealing with the world in that altered condition, is that not, man, that's got to be up there close to it, man. You're just destroying a kid that has no ability to tell you. The same reason we have no ability, a kid has no ability to consent to anything, allegedly drinking, gambling, sex at a young age, but you're going to let them transition to another sex and give them hormones and completely change their DNA, essentially, without any, just do it. Doesn't seem very logical to me. It seems bizarre that we even allow it and that it's talked about.
November Flag said I bought Goon Tape. Your code didn't work. When did you buy it? Because there was issues with the code back in the day, but they fixed it. So send another message. Don't pay for it. We'll find it. Yeah, Clint brought up a good point. Trans is 1 million in profit. Meds for life. No reproduction. Behavior health for life. Great customer.
Right up there with the big pharma. There
Yeah.
you go. Big pharma. Pain pills are gone. So let's transition everybody.
Yep.
Let's make money.
Hormones for life.
Make the shirt. I'm gonna make a shirt. I'm gonna make that a shirt.
What hormones?
Yeah, hormones for life.
All right, bring old Jim Bob on.
Morning,
Jimmy,
boys. Yo, what's up, dude?
what's your take on this whole Canadian? I know you didn't get much. None of us got much. I kind of woke up to the news. So Canadian.
Yeah,
I didn't see any yesterday.
Well, there seems to be a growing trend in that mental health issues seem to create mass shooters. And
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
mental
but
health with some hormones sprinkled in on it.
well, I mean that that was a fantastic point that Mike made about, just like, what are we doing here? Like we're literally putting hormones into people's heads while their bodies, while their brains are still developing. Do we not expect that there might be some adverse reactions? And on
Yeah.
top of that, your point, which is where's the parents? Where are they in this whole fucking equation?
It's always there's always never a dad. You notice that it's always like a single mom scenario with the trans shooter, or really any shooters. I don't know of many shooters. I don't know of any. I'm not saying there isn't, but it's typically a mom household who was like, I had no idea he had these guns. I had no idea he was planning on doing this. And man, you walk in and you see that fucking laugh, dude. What do you do, man? It's like, that's heartbreaking.
Oh my God. I At what point do you just check out on your kids? I mean, like, I'm pretty involved in what goes on here in this house, and I mean,
really
for the record, like the Discord, one of the ideas for the Discord was having a place for the kids of people in the Discord to put, their kids can go play with other kids. We called it the daycare, right? And it's got very limited access. There's not a lot of people in there,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's just a good thing to do in this day and age. So how do you just check out, man, and just watch your kid fucking disintegrate and go, yeah, fuck it, they'll figure it out? Like, no, man, that's your job. Your job is to make them good adults. And clearly you're not doing a very good job.
No, I mean,
Well, we got soft, man. The bottom line, bottom line, at the root of all these problems we discuss weekly, we got soft.
Yeah.
It got unpopular to say, hey, you're fucked up. Like mental hospitals, like state institutions. Like, hey, bro, that person laughing in that video should not be walking around.
no,
They should not. It's unfortunate, but
it is unfortunate.
however it got there, it happened. It's just like what happens when your kid goes and commits a crime. You raise them, they did something wrong, they go to jail. Something happened along the way of you raising your child, chemically or behaviorally. Something happened where you allowed, maybe not all the time, maybe it's an issue, mental health issue, that's different, but something allowed this to happen. So at some point, society has to step in and go, that one can't walk around. Sorry, like that one can't walk around. We see it all the time. The New York stabbing, mental health case, like they're happening over and over. Then school shootings. We're all about the training, right? We're training Uvalde. We're buying shields, like yesterday's episode. We're getting all these tools together to handle the problem when it's active.
Yeah.
What are we doing for the years or weeks or months before the person actually gets the gun, shoots mom and brother, and walks into the school? What are we doing to prevent that?
I'll tell you what, we got in public school. We're mandatory, right? Mandatory mandatory that kids have to get education, right? Homeschooling is taking a front seat in this now. I know that Jimmy stated that they're going to look into that, but right. But we have to send our kids to school. So if we can't homeschool, they got to go to state school, right? They got to go to some kind of state-funded school. Where are the fucking counselors at? How has that kid not been identified by anybody?
They have, dude. They said they were Baker acted and put in institutions over and over. But how long do you keep them? Where do you keep them? How long? You know what a Baker Act, 72 hours, they're right back out. You see them at the same gas station 3 days later. How do you? It's a mass problem that we just keep.
You think there was bullying in there? Like, dude, when I was how old was that kid?
18.
When I was 18, I was borderline retarded.
Still
Like,
are.
and I was, yeah, I know, but I never once thought about anything like that. I didn't really like never crossed my mind to hurt somebody like that, like at school, or hurt myself. Like, it just blows my mind that an 18-year-old is already there.
I got mad. Like, I raided my room and wanted to kill my mom and dad for not letting me outside. I had
Did
those
you
dreams.
laugh like the Joker?
Yeah. My mom didn't let me have ice cream at dinner. I hope she dies tonight. But yeah, at what point do you actually start taking this to that level where you're comfortable? Like, I don't know, man. We've failed massively. And
Yeah, but who are going to be the ones that are going to have to deal with this out in public? It's the fucking cops. And then they're going to question the cops on who they fucking shoot and why. Well, he was having a mental health crisis. Yeah, well, he's been having one for the last 15 years, and that's not my fault. I'm just a poor bastard that ended up in a bad position where I had to shoot him.
Yeah,
or her,
I
or whatever
tell
they're fucking calling themselves.
parents all the time, man. They want to call us when that kid's raging out, hormoning out, and then all of a sudden when you have to go, that's the type of kid that wouldn't go hands on with you. He would comply immediately.
yeah, for the most part.
That's why they kill themselves. They want to take out as many soft targets as possible before opposition comes, and then they kill themselves. They have no inkling at all to fight it out with the police.
But we've glazed over, I'm going to stand on this point. We glazed over all the issues that lead to it. And we as law enforcement spend thousands and millions probably of dollars dealing with equipment and active shooter drills to protect the school inevitably going to happen. We do nothing, it seems, to prevent birth to that point in their lives of dealing with all those problems. And how do we stop those kids from being to the point of shooting up a school? Like, we see that kid, you go to that kid's house. You've been there, dude. How many calls have you walked in? You have to. I equate it to animals too. I bet I am with dogs. You go drive by a house, just like you have the way you ended up with your dog. You drive by a house, you go handle a call, and you see a fucking dog in the backyard tied up. He's been out there for fucking years. His bowl's too far away. He's wrapped around the. I can't think about it. I gotta leave. I can't think about it because if I drive around, then I'll think about that the rest of the day, maybe the next year.
Yeah.
How many times have you been in a house, you walked in, saw the kids, and go, these kids are fucked.
Yep.
You're like, there is no. I remember the one that sticks out the most in my head, and I hate talking about my career, was I remember going to this DCF call where they were coming to investigate the kids, and the little girl pulled on my gun belt. She's like, can you look at this? And I'm like, yeah, what is it? We're trying to play. She hands me a report card. She's like, look, I got A's and B's. She's like 5, 6 years old. I'm like, that's good. She's like, yeah, mommy and daddy don't care. And I'm like, I remember standing there, and this is a day-to-day hotel rental in like the middle of the hood. And I'm like, yeah, they will. And I'm looking, everything's in buckets, everything's in like shit's everywhere. And they're not going to take the kids away, and they're going to bounce on their plate. I've never forget that was probably 15 years ago. And I've never forgot that look on that girl's face where she was just like, somebody look at this fucking report card.
Yeah.
I got good grades. And that stuck with me forever. And I'll go mentally ill. Like if I had to sit there and try not to forget that stuff, because it's like, I can't save every dog, can't save every kid. How many times have you seen the beginning of that at a call? Yeah. And you're like, this kid's going to end up fucking like crazy.
Like, or you go to a really nice house, right? Like middle upper class, upper class, and they've got that type of teen, and it's the parents downstairs drinking a drink at 8 p.m. going, I can't fucking deal with them. I can't fucking deal with them.
It's not always the poor people.
They're upstairs with their headphones on, playing video games or whatever, and like, hey man, what's up? And I'm able to talk to this person somewhat normal. And I go back downstairs. I'm like, have you tried like talking to them? And it's always a tit for tat. I'm like, dude, if your relationship with your kid is so in such shambles, you have to start from the drawing board. And I'm like, you have to, like, when they're destroying the house because you took their phone. I was like, so unless you want to deal with this every day, you lost that battle disciplining your kid.
Long time ago.
This tall.
Now
they're as tall as you. I was like, we need to give him some kind of system to earn it back.
Mm-hmm.
Earn it back. Nope, not getting it back. I'm done. Like, okay, so you're choosing this. And I get it. They're frustrated. But at the end of the day, don't fucking put your penis in somebody and ejaculate and have a kid.
Those rich houses you'll see normally is like they're not willing to give up the country club lunch. They're not willing to give up the trip to Bali. They're not giving, we're going out of town. That kid's probably been with a babysitter since they were like fucking 5. So it's not just poor people. So I'm not saying it's just like people going house to house. You're right. It happens in rich neighborhoods too, where the kid's completely ignored for years, and then they develop this shitty behavior, and it's the same thing. So it's across the board, but we can't continue to train active shooter and how to stop it if we're not going to address before it happens in this area.
Are we not going to address the elephant in the room that Canada has some very, very strict gun laws?
Oh yeah.
It was a rifle, right?
I don't know.
It had to have been a rifle.
But they took the guns away and got them back multiple times. As strict as Canada is.
So that's funny, Jimmy. You say that. It's like the old saying, gun laws don't work.
No, they don't. It's not the gun's fault. And that's where the whole, like, I agree with Dom on some of this stuff. Is like the right is going to jump on the transgender train. The left is going to jump on the gun train. And the middle is going to continue to suffer because those people that died have no dog in that, no fight, no dog in that fight. They're just people at school trying to go to school, educate, learn, and they get in the middle of this transgender gun battle. That ultimately is what happens. As soon as there's a shooting, what is it? Fucking rifle from the left. What is the other side? It must be a transgender, and it goes. Both sides dig in immediately. Yep, without the fucking facts. It's like stand on it, stand, and somewhere in the middle is the regular people going, you fucking two keep battling out. How do we survive? How do I go to school tomorrow without getting killed?
For those of you that just joined us, hey, Lewis, play that video again. We're going to watch. This was a video of the shooter.
That's a cry for help, man.
Yeah. Okay.
That's me after the Giants lose every week.
I'm not gonna lie. So this is in no way comparing, but the laugh is a little similar to when Jimmy's fucking dying laughing. It's just a little similar.
I mean, I'm not, but I cough. I'm coughing normally. Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean that, like you said, Jimmy, that's a cry for help. To videotape yourself doing that, is you're hoping somebody finds that. You really
Dude,
are.
if you look at her face, it looks like she's about to cry. He, she, whatever it is.
Wait,
I
hold
don't
on. Is
know.
it a biological male?
Transitioning to a female.
Okay. Oh, so you
Alright,
said
it's-
she looks like she's about to cry, or he?
Well, I
Whatever
mean,
it
like,
is.
like there's a difference between like cry laughing, and there's something else when like somebody is so overwhelmed and incapable of dealing with their emotions that they're laughing and crying almost at the same time. And it looks like it looked to me like I'm looking at her face, it looks, or his face, whatever it is. It's like trying to like stifle a sniffle, and then laughing again. Like that looks like
Yeah.
somebody who's lost, man.
And there's
fucking
different levels
lost.
of this mental health. There's different levels. There's this extreme level, but I'm going to tie it in. These cops that are on TikTok that are doing it for they're doing it for some type of attention. They're not going to go maybe shoot anything up, but they're having some mental illness where
Yeah.
they need attention and they're crying out for attention. So I'll get it any way I can. And that might be through videos. That might be through saying wild shit on social media, a hot take on something. But
I mean,
it
you guys
all
are-
revolves back to mental illness.
And you guys are both right. It's there. It's there.
Yeah.
If somebody was able to find that video of him laughing, that means it was up, and at least a handful of people had seen that.
Well, that goes back to your parenting thing. If you saw your kid today make that video, you'd go home and be like, you'd probably stop the show.
Oh
Like,
my
I gotta go. I gotta go. Like my kid just posted this fucking video.
Yeah, you wouldn't see me for
That's what I'm
weeks.
saying. You're like, I gotta go deal with this.
Yeah.
The fact that they're so removed and that's going on, it's just, and what do you drill the mom now? Mom lost her kid, or her kid's a fucking criminal and killed 6 people. Well, no, mom's dead. Never mind. I'm thinking mom's still alive. Some of these moms still alive. I forgot her mom was dead, but a family member. So let's say mom lives. Like, but what do you do? Like, there's other ones where mom's alive. Like, how do you go? Like, imagine that being your child, and then it's like, where did I go wrong? And they know where they went
That's
wrong
exactly
in
right.
most cases. It's like now, oh, well, that didn't work out. Being absent and not ever going in their room one time and never holding them accountable, never disciplining them, that didn't work. That was a bad idea. It's too late.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have let them start taking hormones to be a girl. Maybe I should have made a better decision. I don't know if they were taking hormones. I'm just like throwing that out there, but
Well, I mean, so yeah, because you can switch your gender without you can identify as a different.
yeah, but to actually transition, you have to take hormones.
Yeah, that should be noted. We have no evidence whatsoever that this kid was getting hormones.
Yeah,
we were just
no.
talking about in general when they give hormones to children. Speaking of controversial topics, we have Ryan gonna join us. Jimmy, we'll hit you back in a couple minutes, all right, bro?
Later, dude.
Go ahead and bring on Ryan.
Is he here?
No, he's not here.
Oh, I thought he was. I can't see. I don't have my glasses.
That's the
on.
video. Back to the video. Did you send it to him?
Yeah, he's got it.
So you know what if you had a magic wand, what's the answer?
Parenting.
Okay.
Parenting. I mean, like, but I say that, but Jeffrey Dahmer's dad wrote a book about being like the father of a monster and the love for your son. And I didn't read it. So let's clarify. I did not read this book. That was making it sound like I read a book. But in the book, he talks about how there's like, he doesn't know what he could have done. He was always there for his son.
Okay, so I'm glad you say that, because there are psychopaths.
Mm.
Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, those are different people. A lot of them come, Ted Bundy was a great dude. And
Yeah.
everybody loved him. Like, great personality, very charming. That's different. That's a different setup than a human being who is transitioning or having all. But like, most of these don't come from that. Like, mom and dad are just like, whoa, what happened? Like, it's usually never a whoa, what happened. There's so many years of like disasters. But what do you do? If you to fix it. You're right. I think it starts, and here's where that whole, I hate to say this, but the whole LGBTQ thing, I'm not saying it's not okay to do that, but when you start removing what science and God intended, you take either side. Pick either side. I don't care which one you pick. Science and God had two, and they're both the same. Mother, father, even in the jungle, lions, there's a fatherly figure that protects and overwatches the females. Raise your young. Let's get them. And same thing with God. There's the same thing. When you alter those and remove that critical part of what we were intended to do, two moms, two dads, whatever it may be, it just seems to, it's kind of, you're seeing the results of all that. And I'm not shitting on people not allowed to be gay or what, I'm not saying that, but it's obviously they're showing. Were there always going to be psychopaths? But think back. We didn't have school shootings 30 years ago.
No.
Right? We had psychopaths since the beginning of time. Jack the Ripper, you go all the way back. We had psychopaths that were just an anomaly. Like that is a unique
Something wrong
one-time
with the
thing.
brain.
One time. How many school shootings we up to? 50, 100, 200? We didn't have that because there was more structured, home, science-based, God-based, whatever one you pick, families. Yeah. And when you separated that now, you're seeing what I believe is a result of it is just a smorgasbord of fucking nonsense. That's just, here we are. How do we fix it? Cops need more training.
Yeah.
Cops need more training. Be better with mental health. Be better, be nice, de-escalate. Like that seems to be the catch-all for everybody, and that doesn't seem to be working.
All right, we have Ryan now.
Good morning.
Ryan, what's up, bud?
Hey, I'm just curious about like what you think the role of just the easy access of weapons, like late stage capitalism, and just this like landless peasants and BlackRock outbidding families on starter homes, this sort of climate chaos, right? How there's not a lot of hope, I think, in the youth. And so I'm wondering how that fits into this whole school shooting sort of.
I'll start with the guns.
Question.
I mean, kids brought guns to school as kids when, 30, 40 years ago, it was common for all the kids to have guns.
Yeah.
There was actually classes in school where you shot during school.
Yeah.
So I don't think the gun per se is the problem.
Well, this last one just happened in Canada with the strictest gun laws, correct? I mean, not the strictest in the world, but stricter than ours.
Yeah, cops can't leave their house with a gun in Canada.
Canada has very strict gun laws, and this happened in Canada. So I would take the gun. Me personally, I would remove the gun from the situation because I don't think like Mike said, guns have they've been around forever. It's something else, in my opinion.
Take the guns off the table. Does like the economic and the environmental reality?
What did you mean by BlackRock buying out the family? I caught that, but I don't know what you mean by that.
Do you know who BlackRock is?
I did, and me and you could agree for days on BlackRock. I promise you, we will both agree on everything that you say. But I just was curious when you say they bought out the family. I forgot what you said.
Starter homes, right? Outbidding like families, actual humans on starter homes. Right?
Really?
The BlackRock residential portfolio, you will own nothing and you will be happy.
Okay. So you're saying that they through conglomerates, they buy up all the starter homes.
I'll tell you this. So in San Francisco, for every single unhoused citizen living on the street, there are 6 vacant, empty housing units. Nationwide, it's greater than 20 to 1. So I was at Stanford University and there was this mental health conference, and one of the breakout rooms was about homelessness. And I raised this statistic, and I was curious, like when we might add wealth and property hoarding as available diagnoses, because until we look at landlords, the greedy landlord and the corporate venture capitalist residential speculator, we're always going to be aiming at the wrong target. And I won the innovation competition, by the way.
I agree with all that, but I want to bring us back to this topic. Like I agree, because here's my easy way to justify that in my mind. A hotel tonight will have 90% vacancy in that hotel room, but they will not lower the price of the room because of brand awareness. They're not going to go Hilton. The room's $300 a night, but we have 900 open rooms. We'll give it to you for $30 a night so you can stay. They'd rather have it unfilled and keep that money and that level. So everything you're saying about that, the banking industry, that's all a sham. They'd rather have a whole neighborhood of houses unsold than to lower the price of the house down where somebody can afford it. 1,000%. Like I said, that is absolutely 100%. But what do you like in this situation here where you're seeing this shooting and this breakdown of the home with a mother, a child in this transition phase, and then acts out in this way? What do you think about this?
Well, the breakdown of the home is curious, such that the United States, Canada, I don't have a lot of familiarity with, but it's really hard to be a parent. You know, you're overworked, you're underpaid, you gotta do DoorDash on the side just to keep your cell phone bill on. So this whole like breakdown of the home is, you know, a curious one. And I think again, it's late stage capitalism that leads to, you know, I was a latchkey kid myself, right? You know, raised in a single parent family. So there's a lot of factors, and I don't know if it's simplified. And excuse me, I came in late. What were you saying was like the cause? Was this like LGBTQ stuff? As
No, no,
like,
no, no, no. I was saying, I was,
Yes.
no,
What? No.
what I was saying is I believe in science and religion, and in science there is a father, even in the jungle with lions. There's a fatherly figure that protects the den, right? I mean, I watched it the other night. I think Morgan Freeman was advertising. So I think I was saying that maybe the breakdown, and I have no problem with anybody being what they are, and I'm sure there's plenty of great homes of equal parent, father, mother, but overall,
Probably not.
do you think that there's nothing to that the house, the home, the jungle, the breakdown of science was mother raises kids, and I'm not saying mom in the kitchen cooking, don't clip me there, but there's a lion, a male lion that roams that area and protects all them from danger. Do you think there's any issue with that we've separated that like part of the house,
nuclear
and
home.
the nuclear home?
Yeah.
Do you think there's any breakdown in society due to that whatsoever, or is it completely not? I'm crazy.
I think the burden of parenting is unfathomable, you know, and I think, you know, our culture, right? Some families are deciding to like not work so that they don't, because they can't afford the daycare, you know, like, so there's,
Yeah.
And I heard that you're a fan of like science and religion, which are often like in tension with one another,
Yep.
right? Like, what is your like science training background?
Oh,
Biology, chemistry?
you're not baiting me that. I watched National Geographic. I watched the animals protect their home. That's my breakdown of it.
This lion.
I watched the male species of on TV protect
Sure.
the young and the females from danger. That's
Okay,
what I
well,
see.
let me ask you something, Ryan. The
Yes,
attack
sir.
on the nuclear family. I'm going to ask you. I believe that there's an attack on the nuclear family.
Okay.
The man, the woman. I don't believe that two lesbians or two gay men can run a family the way a man and woman can run a family under God. That's my opinion. That's why you're here, to give yours or to correct me if I'm wrong. But do you think that the attack on the nuclear family, being that it's, toxicity and males are toxic and this and that, and women need to go out and get their own jobs and be equal to men, splitting hairs, I know you can go, well, what do you mean by equal? And I understand that, but just the overall argument that like all those things, do you think that the nuclear family being under attack could have anything to do with stuff like this?
I think the nuclear family is under attack by late stage capitalism, right? There, if we look at the homemaker in the 50s, right? Dad was this guy that, you know, could on a single salary, right? Buy a home, buy a new car every 3 years, take his family on a vacation once a year, right? He was probably also a raging alcoholic that was engaged in domestic violence, but
And
that's
cheating on
not-
her, cheating on his wife.
Yeah, leave that part out. That's true.
Yeah, and cheating on his
Sure.
wife and playing poker Friday nights and smoking
because
cigarettes.
because the toxicity did get unchecked, and I do believe that when let's just use vague dates, right? 30s, 40s, we're in World War II era. Men are honorable, and then we hit the 50s and 60s, and men go unchecked. And I believe this is where men failed women in our society. We failed them by becoming the cheaters, the abusers. We forced women as men, all of us sitting right here, we're all included in this because we are biological males. I'm not assuming you, but you said you have he in there. So, but we failed women. We forced women to start thinking for themselves, to start looking out for themselves.
I think I can go back to him when capitalism caused it, right? I'm kind of on board with this. This part of you I agree with, because right now there is not a single person I know where the husband goes to work and the wife can stay home and live comfortable, unless they're rich. Unless they're rich on the beach side or and they have generational wealth, or they have generational wealth, or they have a podcast, right? But other than that, you're right. The woman has to work. Some of the kids have to work these days to keep the family rolling and pay for their own phone bill. So I think I agree with you 100% that we have outpriced ourselves to run the nuclear family the way it was originally being run 40, 50 years ago. So I agree with you on that part.
Well, you got to also know that the state is invested in reproduction. That's where this kind of whole nuclear family propaganda comes from. 2 kids and a dog type shit, where we need this population, right, as labor, as war fighters, things like this, right? So it's in the state to incentivize reproduction because population and population decline is one of the biggest risks in a state. So that's where we get all this like, and friend, the term is cis male, cisgendered male, because all males are male. Biology is biology, gender is social science. And so these are a couple different things. Glad I could help
Okay.
with that.
I knew I wasn't going to get away with that one. So we'll wrap up this topic. I know I talked to you yesterday off record, and we kind of wanted to jump in where the clip left off. Now, I hope that my clip didn't do anybody a disservice. I clipped them to be kind of like a movie trailer. There's a lot of ahs and ums taken out of it, and but at the end of the day, I like people to be happy with the clip and be like, "Man, you took me out of context," because that does happen a lot. When I'm in charge of the social media, a lot of people be like, "Man, you took what I said way out of context." I'm getting a lot of hate for it. My man Mike right here has fallen victim to that.
Yeah.
So I hope you at least understood what I was doing. The clip, left it on a cliffhanger, like you said, and then we can move right into it, which was you were ending it with kind of like the whole all of the mental health resources are going to combat arms and special forces guys, and it's really would you say it's fratricide? Fratricide.
It is a form of fratricide, and yes, veterans' guilt is a form of PTSD that is also not eligible for like disability ratings and that sort of thing. So that's a real issue. But the clip portion that I was really curious about is this idea that if I had killed people, would I be a happier person?
Yep. I did. That's where I left it. You're right. I left it on that.
And like, let's just think about that for a second. Let's sit in that. Like, isn't that question like, not to be judgy, just a bit unhinged?
It is, but that's why I said it.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, that's. But people ask that question. That's a question I ask people. Would it really make some guys happier that missed out on war? There's a lot of dudes that they missed out on war. How they handle it, or how they cope with it, or how they realize it that it's not that bad of a thing is different. But there's a lot of men that missed the opportunity to go to war when they were expecting to. Right? Their mind was there for years. I'm going.
Totally.
I'm not going. So the mind fuck is there. But what I was asking is, do a lot of these guys, if you ask them that question I asked you, if you sat down with a guy who was like really struggling, that he wanted to go serve his country and didn't get a chance to, like, would killing another man make you happier? Do you think you'd be happier if you took another life and more? And I'd just be curious to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, and I think that's what, chasing these combat action ribbons and combat infantryman badges is a toxic part of our culture, because like, who are we really killing?
Just kill another person.
Yeah.
What
problem
is the other person? Tell me about these other people.
In this podcast, I have learned so much doing this in years. I learned more talking to people than I've ever learned in my entire life from any type of education. And what I've learned is that I can't find a war that I can 100% justify outside of really any war. Every war, there's questionable intentions from the entities that be.
Yeah, I guess what I know, kind of where I feel you're going with this is, we just agree on football teams, we should just go to war and kill each other, right? Because we don't agree on the team we support. So I see what you're saying. Who are they? They're people that are living. They have their own society. They're doing their own economic breakdown, and we happen to disagree over something, and then we're killing them.
What are we disagreeing on?
We don't know yet. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we don't know.
Let's be clear, my friend. We're disagreeing on if they should possess their national resources or if our corporations should go in and extract them.
Yeah.
This is the disagreement.
In the name of safety, right?
In the name of the greatest democracy in the world, nation building.
Hey man,
let's liberate Afghan women by bombing them.
Ryan, real quick before, I don't want to forget, we're not done, but your organization, your nonprofit, what is that called?
It's called Compassionate Veterans,
Oh, it's your
promoting
name. Okay.
peace from within. But
Compassionate.
and I know we're gonna like chop up this and edit it and things like that. And so I do want to answer your question.
Yes, go ahead.
I might.
Oh,
Whoa, you cut out.
You cut out. Say it
You
again.
cut
Ready?
out.
Yep. Over
Yeah.
again.
I said I might be happier if I killed people because then I would live in this fantasy world and I would manufacture these convenient justification narratives that this poor, innocent farming peasant that was defending his homeland somehow deserved to die. Because I have this red, white, and blue patch on my shoulder, and I have this American exceptionalism, rah, manifest destiny that justified what I did. And I would probably have, a scotch and cigar in my hand too.
You'd be a toxic male. Welcome to the club, bro. No, I mean, but it's interesting. You are not a what is the word I'm looking for? You will actually look at yourself and go, it's possible that I would have fallen into something that I don't want to be. I can see myself right now. I can see what could have been at the slightest drop of a hat. I could be a totally different person. You could be on the other side of the protest.
Yo, and when I first got out of the military, I was a patriot, conservative, rah dude like y'all, And then I took a sociology class on the GI Bill at community college and learned that, having empathy for other human beings is actually a virtuous thing. So
Yeah, it is.
I've been y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I've come along. Before I was a leftist, I was a liberal. Before I was a liberal, I was a conservative. Before I joined the Marine Corps, I hung out with folks that were probably on the far right side
Really?
of the fence. Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah,
so,
let me say this though, because you say y'all. I didn't want to kill anybody. I joined pre 9/11 when before it was we're all going to kill people. I just joined because it was like I knew I had a job coming back. The guy goes, "Hey, join the military. I'll hire you as a cop." I never dreamed of being a cop either, which what a wonderful 23 years that was. But I never wanted to kill anybody. And I'll be honest with you, I thank God every day I didn't have to kill anybody. I'm
Yes.
grateful I didn't have to kill anybody in combat because I didn't go. I'm like you. I didn't even go over to Iwo Jima or Japan.
Iwo Jima.
Where did you go? You went all those places that Jimmy made fun of you. I didn't even go there. I went to Fort Polk, Louisiana for 3 years and came back. So I didn't go anywhere. I didn't even deploy overseas at any point in my career. And then I was a cop, and I am grateful every day because I have my own demons, and one of them I don't have to worry about fighting is that I killed somebody because I don't know how I'd feel about it. Honestly, I would have done it. I would have done it in those law enforcement scenarios, but I don't know how I would have felt afterwards. So I'm glad I didn't have to do it.
I love that, and thank you for that really honest and vulnerable reflection. It is a curious hat that you're wearing in the context of all this.
So, I'm glad you say that, though. I'm glad you say that because I get that a lot. The faggot in the war hat or the asshole in the war hat. So it's not war. It's not I want to go to war. And I have a red one back here and I sell them. It's a war within. I fight the war at the gym. I fight the war with every day. And if you look at it, Dustin Poirier wears it in UFC and Marvin Hagler wore it before that in boxing. So it has nothing to do with the active war. It has to do with the internal war that I fight myself, honestly. 100%.
Thank you. Well, and this idea like that a lot of us like missed out on war, right? Because that's what we trained for. That's what the indoctrination pipeline kind of readied us for. That's what like the GI Joes as kids sort of indoctrinated us to, So what I will say to those of us that did not directly participate in these morally bankrupt interventions and occupations is that we dodged an immoral bullet. And this is something we need to arrive at gratitude for, that we did not stain the lineage of our ancestors with immoral, unjust state violence for the investors of the military industrial complex.
Hold on. I'm gonna pin this website, Compassionate Veterans. I will have I'll make it a thing put on the screen, but for now we're gonna pin the comment so that way if anybody is curious, obviously our mission right now, us talking, is to bring awareness and help to veterans at no matter.
Yeah, and here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say for people that may not like you, right? I'm sure some of our followers don't like you. But if there are veterans out there that only want to talk to you, why wouldn't I want them to go to you, right? They don't align with me. They might not align with the way I think, but they're a vet. And they see this show and they go, well, I can align with him better. And I'm not going to have that mental health crisis I was going to have. I'm going to reach out to Ryan and talk to him. Right. So why wouldn't I want to generate that conversation? We can disagree. We disagree on almost everything, but I will agree with you that if a veteran is in need and they don't want to talk to the guy in the war hat, maybe they want to talk to the guy from San Francisco that has pronouns. And that's great because he's going to get the help as a fellow vet. We're brothers, right? We're all brothers. We're brothers in arms, all that stuff. I would rather him reach out to you and say, I'm more comfortable talking to him than reach out to nobody. So that's
I appreciate
that's why
man.
we have you on. That's why we
No,
have you on.
totally. No, thank you so much. And you know what? I am from San Francisco, and there are veterans that come from all over the country to San Francisco to be safe. And yeah, these are our LGBTQ veterans that have always existed.
How many are there? I know you can't give a number, but like, is there more LGBTQ left-leaning veterans out there than we would anticipate, than we would even think exists? Because I honestly, I can't think of any. You were the first one that ever popped, and the reason why is you stood out so much in our community and in the people that follow us is because no one's seen a Marine that does this. And so I would be blown away if there's actually a huge community of veterans that are like you.
Totally. And there's a huge heritage of this. Like in California cannabis, Dennis Perone was a gay Vietnam veteran that smuggled 2 pounds of cannabis back from Vietnam and turned that into a 40-year career here in San Francisco, giving away free cannabis to gay AIDS patients throughout the AIDS crisis in the 80s. So that's the roots of a lot of my work, is this individual and what they did. And, I would kind of just disentangle one thing. You said LGBTQ left-wingers, right? And these are kind of not necessarily the same, because there are some LGBTQ right-wingers, right? Look at
That's true.
You're right. Yep.
Look at Peter Thiel, for example, right? So and that guy's a fascist. But there's a whole heritage of anti-war left-wing veterans going back to like the bonus army, right? After World War I. So there is this under-discussed heritage. Like, we are not all bootlickers. And if I need to like come out and say, hey, all this right-wing bro vet toxicity is a problem, it gives folks like some safety, because it's like, this is kind of scary, guys. I'll be honest with you, right? It gives others like this signal that it's safe for them to do so also. So yeah, there's a whole LGBTQ portion of our veteran community that is basically ignored. And how many times is the F word thrown around on this podcast or in the comment sections, right? I want to say hello to everybody in the comment section.
Not the good one, not the FU one, right? The other one.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I'm talking about. It's a slur, right? How many, and if you just watch the Jarhead movie, right? How much homoerotic grab ass happens in the infantry and special forces? Can we?
Yeah.
You want to
go?
Like,
this is what I was going to say before. I'll spin it back to this: is when we're over there, right? They're over there fighting their wars. They don't care what that fucking guy next to him does in his free time, right? If you got a gun pointed at the same target as me and you're performing, I don't care what you do in your free time. And when we come back, if that same guy goes, you know what, I'm a homosexual and I don't really like the government anymore, but I did my time. Should I say, well, fuck you, you're not part of me anymore, you're not one of us? No, go talk to Ryan. If you need help, go to that crew, because you're still a vet, right? If we're all vet bros at one point, we all went through the same training, we all went to the same wars and did the same thing. If your mind changes and you have a different version of what you are, you still served your country. You still put the uniform on, you still put the flag patch on, you still raised your hand and said, I'm going to protect the Constitution.
Yeah.
You just have a different version of yourself now. I don't want you to go die. I want you to go be with your people, right? You're still a vet.
Thank you. And I like this die part, right? Because transgender veterans self-harm at greater rates than any of us do. So when we're cracking all these jokes and things, it has a real impact. Okay, so and I appreciate this referral, like, hey, send these people to Ryan, right? And yeah, it's all good, come through. And my gentle invitation is to actually like not need to delegate or outsource that. Just have your own warm heart that is open to accepting folks.
I agree.
That'll get us all a long way.
Well, so I have a question. Are you totally 100% trying to understand the other side here? are you 100% any act of war? Or if you could, if you or Ryan, and we were tribal, right? You could either go forward in time at the world's end or go way back in the beginning, and you had a tribe of 20 people, and you were the head of that tribe, and another tribe was coming in, and they were going to do wrong by your tribe. Which again, we can't. I look back at all these wars, and it's really hard to justify most of them. Are you just against violence and war, or would you go to war with that tribe based off of, well, I have to protect mine against wrongdoers?
This is a fantastic question. And I think we have to disentangle, you mentioned tribe, right? We have to disentangle this archetypical or indigenous warriorhood from foot soldiering for empire. Okay, these are two different things. Indigenous warriorhood, archetypical warriorhood was to protect elders, women, children, right? And these portions of the population were untouchable in terms of warfare, right? Which is totally different than what foot soldiering for empire does. Counterinsurgency strategy targets life-sustaining resources like the buffalo here in the United States, right? That disproportionately harms elders, women, and children, right? And so, yes, war is this curious part of humanity. There's a book called Strong Minds, Wounded Hearts about the Native American Vietnam experience, Vietnam veteran experience, that talks about how in a tribal situation, war was considered this weird sort of mystery about the human experience. And they would introduce things like ritual warfare, less than lethal warfare. This is where counting coup comes from, right? Where there's this sneaking up on your enemy and tapping on the head is counting coup.
Silent kill.
Yeah.
Except no, you're sparing their life.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
and then they owe you. They
Oh,
owe
okay.
you your life.
Like
Their
an
life.
honorable thing, like an honor thing.
Yeah. And is foot soldiering for empire honorable? Or do we get honorable discharges for dishonorable duties?
Oh man, if I clip anything, that's gonna be the end. Ryan, so great to
Hey,
have
one
you
more
on.
question. One question.
What's up?
Right?
Yeah.
What can the GWAT veteran learn from the Vietnam veterans that threw their medals back?
A lot, I guess. I think the country did a lot of, I think the government did a lot of damage control post Vietnam, and they said we can't have that retaliation again when we go do these proxy wars. So the next time we went into the global war on terror, we were like, hey, we've got to honor the veterans, right? And I'm using quotes because we've got to make them feel, we got to give them the VA. We got to always like in Vietnam, they were looked at the way cops are looked at now. The soldiers and military personnel are still heroes to the everyday person, the common society. They're heroes, right? But back then they weren't. They were spit on. They weren't giving any benefits. They weren't respected at all. So I think that our elite government was like, when we do this again in another generation, we have to make sure we cover our ass on this end and we keep them proud when they come home. They're proud. They're on podcasts now. They're talking about what they did for our country, right? Am I right?
Like hero worship is something that might be something to pick up on the next call, right? Because there is a propaganda sort of orientation to this, like the language of the empire, right? The US troop is the hero, but this brown peasant on the opposite side of the world is a terrorist, is an insurgent, is a military aged male, or all this other racist dehumanization language that we use, right? And so when was the last time the US military did anything heroic? Isn't it true that the US military, if we're going to use more precise language, is horrific, not heroic?
I always said World War II is our last real war, and then all of a sudden I found out a bunch of other numbers and things that don't make any sense anymore. And now I'm like looking back, and that was a hard one for me to swallow, when World War II might not have been the triumph over evil story that it was.
Yes, there's a great book by West Point English professor Elizabeth Samet called Looking for the Good War, American Amnesia in the Violent Pursuit of Happiness. And she talks about how World War II greatest generation mythology, because most troops were indifferent to fascism and racist. They didn't really care about Hawaiians getting bombed in Pearl Harbor. So all this mythology that we created around the greatest generation has perpetuated these morally bankrupt wars afterwards ever since.
All right. The next time we're going to also talk about, we're going to define next Thursday when you come on, we're going to define communism and what a communist is and what a communist is to you. And if there's any actual documentation that defines communists, because a lot of our people are saying you are the enemy. Communists want to kill all non-communists. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I kind of wanted to talk with you about it and let you kind of, obviously I'll go redo my own research, but I wanted to explain to you and I wanted you to explain communism to us, and we will
Sure.
save that. And then the other topic you talked about for next Thursday.
Awesome.
Sounds great. You know, there is a whole lot of McCarthyist Red Scare propaganda that misinforms us towards communism. And my favorite thing to do is to argue with landless peasants that are working class, that somehow love billionaires, that, you know, communism is not the boogeyman that we've been
Are
led
you
to believe.
calling them cucks?
I would never do that. If
If
that's people's kink, you know, I don't kink shame people, you know, so hey, just like I won't say this. Never mind. Maybe next time.
All right.
Okay. All right, Ryan.
We'll see you next week, buddy.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back.
Over a century ago in 1910, the Flexner Report, funded by John D. Rockefeller and the Carnegie Foundation, re-engineered medical education from a holistic, whole-body approach, which appropriately treated the body as an interconnected system, to a compartmentalized approach under the guise of specialized medicine. They shut down or consolidated medical schools, marginalized naturopathic, homeopathic, and chiropractic medicine, replacing them with symptom management and synthetic drugs. Allopathy is a marketing strategy rooted in fear and manipulated science. This philosophy carried into veterinary medicine, resulting in over-vaccination, unnecessary surgeries, and manufactured food, just like they did for people. They call it care, but it's predatory and based in profitability. The truth? Toxicity, compromised immunity, and chronic inflammation. They're not fate. They're engineered. And so is your power to undo them. We built 3 targeted formulas to return the body to homeostasis, for pets and people. To detox, defend, and restore. We are the correction to decades of corruption. We are vengeance.
We are back. And don't forget to check out my website, www.copvilleog.com. Use code antihero15 for 15% off the best merchandise in the network. Copvilleog.com. Get your war hat that Ryan hates and everything else, the Copville shirts. And I appreciate it. Antihero15 for 15% off. It's not on there.
It's on there. Cool.
Wow.
And Counterculture Ink Threads, the OG t-shirt company of the network. Go to countercultureinkthreads.com. Use promo code antihero. Save 15% on shit like this baller ass puff stitch hat. Shirts like Death or Glory. Hand done. We paid humans to draw these. Natalie drew this one. And then we paid humans to ship the shirts. And we paid humans to put print on shirts, not China robots. Anyways, and also American financing. Let's be honest, the math isn't adding up lately. Between the grocery store and those skyrocketing insurance premiums, even with a steady job, more families are being forced to rely on high interest credit cards to cover expenses. I was there. Ask Heather. It sucked. If you're a homeowner caught in that cycle, carrying balances with interest rates in the 20s or even 30s, it's time to get some relief. Right now, mortgage rates are at a 3-year low, and my friends at American Financing are helping homeowners pay off that high interest debt at rates in the low 5s. They're salary-based mortgage consultants, not commission-based, so it doesn't matter how long they talk to you. Don't push loans. They build exit strategies from debt. On average, they're saving their customers $800 a month. That's on average. It could be more than $800 a month. Get yourself out of debt. Plus, if you start today, you may even delay the next 2 mortgage payments. There are no upfront fees or obligations. To find out how much you can save, America's home for home loans is American Financing. Call 866-890-8585 for more details, or go to americanfinancing.net/antihero to learn more.
Good job.
Thanks, dude.
Very nice.
Nailed it.
Don't forget copvilleog.com.
Don't forget countercultureandcreds.com.
Go there.
Hey, where's
Look at
Jim?
Lewis. That was good. See what Lewis did?
Wait, what did he
That's on the ball, Lewis. See?
What did he click back and
He
forth?
was not zoned out. He knew. He flashed them both real quick.
All right. Good job, Lewis.
Lewis, I'm proud of you.
All right.
Proud moment.
Bring old Jimmy back on. All right. Did you watch the interview with your best friend?
Yeah, I did.
We have to keep
I
you guys
did.
separate like pit bulls. Not gonna Jimmy
I
has
mean-
to now any fucking ability to listen to a communist.
No.
Yeah, I can listen to him, but at the end of the day, it's all bullshit. I mean, we agree on some things about the war, but what I don't really agree on is that, like, war was never about, for me. I mean, like, yeah, we have to kill people in the war, but war was about, hey, I'm serving my country. The fact that the old men and women in charge fucking used me is not my fault.
Yeah, and that's where I agree with you in the sense that he kind of it seems like he wants 18 and 19-year-old kids to be thinking, as we're saying, they can't have hormones because they're too young, they're not developed yet. You expect 18 and 19-year-old kids to understand geopolitical economics and politics. Like, it's not going to happen, dude. I barely understand that shit. And I'm 40. Mike doesn't understand any of it, and he's 50.
Yeah.
Uh,
Almost.
None of that. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, you're good. He was defending himself. I called him old.
Oh, none of that has anything to do with, why did we go do this war? Okay. Well, you know why I'm okay with killing people? Because the old men and women that were in charge of my country sent me and my friends there, and those people were trying to kill my friends. So fuck them. Do you want me to tell you what those people were like? I could tell you what those people were like. You may not agree with why we were there. I don't. But a lot of those people that were shooting at us were very happy with female genital mutilation. They were happy to freaking, treat the girls in their family like slaves. They farmed out little boys for rape parties. They were savages.
I
Do you
mean,
think-
we're doing that here, apparently.
Do you think that's still going on today over there?
Oh yeah, it's cultural, man. It's been.
So had you never gone there, they wouldn't have been able to shoot at you. Then you'd have.
Well, and whose fault is that? I didn't decide to go.
turning
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
communists.
I'm just saying. Like I get, but that's never going to stop. So if we didn't go completely eliminate it, it's going to continue. So if we never went
Well,
there,
my point was that I wasn't over there fighting people who I mostly agreed with.
no, I know.
And to be
And-
you're saying you were fighting for your buddies to your left and your right. At
Yeah.
20 years
But
old, you're not
I
fighting for some
I think what
cause.
Ryan is saying is evil people are the ones who sent you there to do it.
Yes.
His argument is we come back and have tattoos and wear war hats and we're rah rah rah, when he's trying to say, you guys know they sent you there for the wrong reasons. Why aren't you so mad at them? That's what I think he's trying to say.
I'm fine with that. I can absolutely say that. I mean, term limits win. He wants to sit here and talk about BlackRock and the infiltration of late stage capitalism, as he calls it, into the current political body politic. Fine. I'll tell you what capitalism has done. Capitalism has saved more people than it has killed. Communism has killed more people and hasn't produced anything of value. Okay, the communist.
That's true.
I think him and Jimmy need to go at it on Shadowcast.
I did. It's hard, Jimmy, because when you're the host, you have to be. I mean, I know you
have
know
to
this.
listen.
You have to fucking sit there and listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, like you'd have to.
Well,
moderate
Jimmy,
it.
would you do it? Because we're catching
Yeah.
flack right now. Not so much from the supporters that watch us live, but in Instagram stuff, like, oh, you give this guy a platform. Like, so there's already, we catch flack for just listening to the other side. And you say, well, I'm listening to their side. And somebody might say, well, would you listen to Satan? Well, no, I wouldn't. Oh, so that's where you draw the line. You draw the line of Satan. I would not listen to what Satan has to say. I wouldn't listen to what a demon has to say. But you'll listen to what a communist has to say, and then people are like, "But that's
Put the comments.
that's
So,
kind of like what you're saying is like there's nothing good that's going to come from a communist."
The conversation, I mean, fine, we can have you can sit here and talk about like, oh, let's debate this in the public forum and let the best idea rise to the top. Guess what? We fucking did that for the last 150 fucking years. Communism doesn't work. It doesn't work in China. It didn't work in the Soviet Union. It hasn't worked anywhere that it's been implemented. All it has done is killed people and enslaved them and told them that they're free by having nothing. He said it himself. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's something that a communist would say. You don't own anything in communism.
I think what he's trying to say is, as middle class people, we own no homes, and you know what I'm saying. I think maybe,
but but here's the thing: you can't say that and go, which is true, that BlackRock and all these other companies are making it hard for impossible for the American dream, and then go, but communism is the answer, because we already have that. I mean, we already have that idea that we own nothing. We can't own anything. I can't go fucking buy a home right now.
And where I can't get all the way with him on the I can't get all the way with him on the sex thing. Like I just can't with the
gender.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys missed a layup. You missed a layup, and I was screaming at the screen because he was like, he said, you got to be careful because these, transgender people, they kill themselves at a higher rate. Okay, well, maybe it's because they have a fucking mental health issue. That's why.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that was implied. We said that before we started. That they have.
Now I wish I would have said that.
Yeah, I mean, I just he's on our show. Like that's why he got. I mean,
what I want to do, I want to give props to Jimmy, props to Clint, props to a lot of these guys that said that. I know, I guess I'm just. Everybody's different. I know it, and we're talking with Jimmy, so I'm using Jimmy publicly. But there's a lot of people in the chats that do not like or feel uncomfortable that there's a fucking self-proclaimed communist that we're engaging with. And I appreciate everybody giving us patience. It's something that we're trying not to be a think tank. We're trying to also provide entertainment. It will get to the point where we are debating at volumes loud. I guarantee that will happen, but there has to be a comfort stage first where I want him to feel like he's welcome. And so once he gets
like cuss him out, it's like, what would be your incentive to come back?
Yeah. And there's a difference between entertainment, right? Because this is entertainment, right? And we need to have that guy on, but we can't just make him a verbal punching bag every time he comes on and make him the butt of every joke. If somebody was to make,
I know he didn't like that.
You said faggot?
Yeah, I said I called myself a faggot though.
Yeah,
I know. I know it drove him crazy. I know it drove him crazy. Well,
fucking have some thicker skin, man. I'm sorry. Like you're
right. You have to. Good.
If words can hurt you that bad, if they can hurt you that fucking bad, maybe war was definitely not something you should have been doing.
No, I agree because I agree. There has to be some level of because here's the thing. Like you said, you spend comedy. You throw the word comedy in front of your name, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I believe white people are saying the N-word now in comedy skits and stuff. It's okay. There was a time when you couldn't even get close.
Yeah.
So when you throw the word comedy in front, you get a pass on everything. But like I say faggot and it's like the F word. He called it the F word. You saw me. And I'd already said it. I knew what he was getting at. But I look at it like there's really nothing you can call me that's going to upset you. I'm not going to get upset. Now, other people that do get upset, I guess we're supposed to feel good for everybody, but this is a comedy show. You're right. It's entertainment. I'm going to say whatever I want to say anyway, but I'm not going to go so crazy as to just go, all right, the guest was and he's gone. 27 seconds and he's gone. So there's some level of interacting. I know if I say those words over and over again, he's going to disconnect at some point or not. So I have to like throttle him in there.
Yeah. Same here.
I like to hear his version because people should maybe hear what I think is wrong. I don't agree with them.
And I failed. I brought him on. I meant to go, and the Marine communists. What's up? You fucking I meant to do that, but I'm so used to bringing on guests that aren't really the other side that I forgot to do that because I do want it to be known he is the other side.
Every Marine that I've talked to that has seen him talk, wants a crack at him, our good friend Kevin wants a crack at him. Obviously, Matt wants a crack at him. Brady wants a crack at him.
Yeah, but if we don't bring him on, they don't get a crack at him.
And,
Yeah,
and
You know,
that's
you bring
and
one
that's
of those
the
guys
thing.
on and say, okay, next week we'll have Peach on with him, or next week we'll have
Yeah.
Brady. You know, whoever.
Yeah.
I know Peach will talk to him. Let them go at it, and then
Yeah.
we just, you know, it was kind of like the Crenshaw episode where everybody's like, "Yeah, shut up, cuss." I'm not going to cuss out a congressman on a fucking show.
He came
And
on
he's
to
just
our
gonna
show.
hang. He's gonna hang up. And what is he gonna do? Even on Fox News, when they got the opposition or CNN, they still maintain some level of,
Yeah.
you know, you can't just go crazy.
Yeah, you one of the things that you really need to delineate about this show is, and this is going to shut down all the arguments. Why would you listen to that guy? Because this isn't actually the court of public opinion. This is not the forum. We're not going and having a debate about how we're going to run the country. What we're actually doing is having a conversation that's entertaining, so you guys can listen to it, and we can throw zingers at each other. That's what it is.
Right. And also, if we all three agree he's 100% wrong, right? We all agree.
Mhm.
Would we not want to bring a guy on to show our listeners this is what you don't want to be? And I'm sure he would want to have us on if his and say, look at this guy. This guy's he's a God-loving American war vet who thinks the country did everything right. You're not going to want to, you know, you don't want to separate yourself. So we believe he's wrong, which I do on mostly everything. But I'd like to have him talk about it.
It's just
right?
it's fascinating to me also that, I mean, even getting Ryan and Jimmy,
Fucking Clint, dude.
there's a, you guys can agree on, like, as you guys say, violent agreement.
Yeah.
Put Clint, put that last comment up, the bottom one there. Put that comment up.
A shit ton of poetry.
Ryan has an eye patch over his butthole. Fucking Clint's level of comedy is insane, dude. All right, you're
Dude,
good.
Clint
That was a
needs his
Crenshaw
own
reference.
fucking
Instead of the
show.
eye, it's
I don't
over his
you know what would be really upsetting to find out if that Clint is actually funnier in comments than he is in real life.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Because
on
I
the
mean,
phone.
oh my god, because he has some good ones, and it's like, damn, why didn't I think of that?
comment?
You know, but you know, the bottom line to me is that communism
YouTube
is
might have removed it.
terrible.
Oh yeah, it's not on YouTube.
Yeah,
What?
YouTube probably kicked it.
We
Clint's
can see-
comment. We can see it because it's in StreamYard. But if you
Yeah.
say something like the F word, or I guess butthole's one of those words,
What do you
Clint,
say?
Clint, it says right there, Ryan has an eye patch over his butthole because we brought Crenshaw up. Oh, you got to click all comments. Your wife talks about that all the time. That's why you don't see it.
What?
Go to YouTube. Let me fix him, Heather.
But yeah, I mean, just the
I
fact that
listen to you.
just the fact that Jimmy and Ryan can agree on something like BlackRock being the financial demon that it is. I mean, like, but you wouldn't think that because of Instagram posts, you would think these guys could never agree on something. And then that's why, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like Mike said, dude, we gotta have opposition on here.
Well, I mean, there's universal truth out there, right? You know what else we agree on? That the sky's fucking blue. Right?
But like, look at, those memes that they show where it's like the blood and the Crip holding hands and saying they can't stop us now, or the hillbilly Confederate flag guy with the black dude, and they're holding, they say they don't want this. Like, if you could get everybody on the same page, that weakens the elite. And so podcasts like this or broadcasts like this kind of doing that, I think is the right answer.
Yeah, for me, we do need to understand that they're fellow travelers in some respects. But let's be real clear. The moment that you start saying you want communism, I'm out. Like, I'm out.
I mean, and like, dude, the first time he came on, I don't think he caught it, but I said, "Are you broadcasting with us from your evil capitalist?" Like, that never made sense to me. How are you going to sit here and use things and say it's evil? I mean, I guess we do, but you got to use the tools of war.
Yeah. I mean,
We don't like guns, but we're gonna shoot guns. That don't fit me. That I was quoting him. Not me.
There is nothing redeemable about communism. All communism really is, and this is why he espouses it, is because he thinks it's a panacea for all of the woes that he looks at.
Yeah, what's a panacea?
It's a cure-all.
There was
Right.
another one
It's the-
before that. There was another word before that you said too.
I don't know.
There was another one. That was two in one sentence. That was good.
Oh well. Well, I'm glad I could go ahead and do it, but you know, I mean, I've been off my game for a while now, so I really need to.
No, I love the hair, dude. Who's the fucking Tampa Bay Brave player that was like fucking jacked? He wears the sunglasses.
Alex Rodriguez,
No,
Tampa Bay Rays.
the guy that wears the sunglasses and he's like, dude, all the memes are like fucking just going like,
Oh, Canseco.
yeah,
Oh,
Jose
Jose
Canseco.
Canseco.
That's what you look
Yeah,
like right
yeah,
now, dude.
yeah.
Put a pair of fucking old school 80s sports glasses on.
Yeah.
Jose
I can see it.
Canseco. I'll take that. I mean, Jose Canseco was playing ball when I was 9, so
He's on the sauce too.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Fucking driving around in a T-top Camaro.
Blasting like fucking White Snake.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, we got a comment. Super chat, Cutter Pritchett. His side is no different than BlackRock. His side is 100% on the side of government-owned housing and no private ownership. Ask him about social credit.
We'll go at it next week. We got to go at it.
But that's a good point.
Yeah,
So, do
yeah.
you want everything to be Section 8 housing? You want it to be communist, government-owned housing? That's a great point. In fact, if you guys super chat while we're talking to him, we'll read your questions.
Yeah.
Have
I
some
mean,
kind of capitalism, baby.
the,
Say
the,
something.
the
Read it.
people
read.
who espouse communism while living the and gaining the benefits of the capitalist societies that they hate are the most disingenuous fucksticks I could possibly imagine. It literally you're literally ignoring the evidence right in front of your face. It's like I'm over here hitting you in the head with a wiffle ball bat going, hey dude, this is the good parts about it. Are there bad parts? Absolutely. Until Christ returns, we're not going to have a perfect government. Fucking get that one through your head. But we could pick some good ones and, you know, at least try to make it work. What have we tried? Well, we've tried fascism. That didn't fucking work. We tried communism over and over and over again, more than fascism, by the way. And it is responsible for the biggest mass murder in human history in 2 different countries, the 2 biggest countries on the planet, Russia and China. I mean, let's talk about the one-child policy in China. Let's talk about
Doesn't
Yeah.
China have a thriving government or economy? You said they're capital. You're communist, right? I'm going to sound like a fucking idiot. I get it.
Yeah.
But China is a communist state, right?
Yes.
yes. Let's look at why that they're. Let's take a
'Cause
look
they're
at the economics behind
They
China.
have sweatshops. Kids are fucking getting beat inside fucking factories. That's why their economy's so good.
Yeah, they have literal slaves. They have
Yep.
literal slaves. They purge those that they find on. Look at the Christian Uyghurs in China. They get rid of them.
What?
The Uyghurs. Not Wiggers.
We're
Don't.
we're too immature for that word. You got to go somewhere else with that word. We're too immature for that
Okay.
word.
But is there such thing as I've heard stories that you can't find it on the internet, Jimmy, about mass genocide in China? Like mass
it
genocide.
happens. Dude, I mean, one of the biggest things that people don't talk about is the harvesting of organs for the elites around the world. You need an organ? Go to China. They'll get you one. Don't ask where it came from, because they take it. I mean, let's look at their technology. Why do they have what they have? Well, they stole it. They stole the technology and incorporated it. I'm going to blow your mind on this one. And I had a conversation with one of my sources last night. This is what I think actually happened on the Bin Laden raid. I don't think that fucking helicopter crashed on accident. I think it crashed on purpose. And if you were going to blow up a helicopter that was supposedly stealth, there's 2 places you would really want to blow up. That would be the tail rotor and the avionics. Guess what survived? The fucking tail rotor.
So you
And guess
said
who
we
bought
wouldn't
that tail rotor? China. China got that tail rotor. And then they started making stealth aircraft that we can still see. I think it was absolutely a.
Whoa. Okay, so it is. So you're saying China got a hold of that tail rotor?
Yeah, they did. 100% they did.
Is that fact or is that just like
That is a
assumed?
fact. That is a
So
fact.
they went into. Would they buy it from Pakistan? Did they go in and take
Yes,
it?
they bought it.
They bought it.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So you're saying we purposely left it for them?
Oh, you want
That's
tail
what I
rotor?
think. Yeah, I think that one of the
I
reasons
don't
why.
know. You don't sound
Uh,
Pakistan.
one-
Oh. You want tail rotor?
I think
Is that better?
I think one of the reasons why there's so much controversy around the fucking Bin Laden raid is that there was a mission within a mission.
You said
Ah.
3 green card, that card. I give you tail rotor. Do not redeem. Do not redeem.
Oh,
But-
because they
oh.
sound Indian.
Yeah, they're selling it.
Oh, hello. Would you like to buy a U.S. military rotor.
Oh yeah, I will very much, sir. I like a Toyota,
Yeah.
not a Toyota. I want Toyota.
Oh, you want Toyota?
No,
We don't,
Toyota.
we don't sell Toyotas. We sell American Toyotas.
I want Toyota.
Oh,
Crash.
Toyota.
Okay.
Okay.
Hilux. I want the Hilux.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
That's to America.
dude. So I mean, you know, people will sit there and say all this stuff about China, and it's like, dude, you want to talk about propaganda? That is a propaganda machine. They propagandize everybody. So you want to sit here and go, oh, America's bad because they propagandize our kids to go into the fucking military? Okay, what does China do? Hey, you can only have so many kids. One of the biggest problems that they had recently was that they killed most of the girls that were born. And so they had a
That's what I'm
bunch of
talking
dudes.
about. It was like genocide.
That's communism, bro. Do you want that? The answer is no.
Why is
So-
that hidden so much from the world?
Well, first of all, China has money and an influence. All right. So the money doesn't come from money, realistically. Let's use the economics of the world. You are you have a TV show, right? You want to reach the biggest audience you possibly can, right? Well, guess who's got the most fucking people? China. China has the most people, which means you got the most
people
chances.
and Toyota.
Yeah.
You guys
They have
talking
people in
about?
Terror Rotor. So you
Blue
go,
Baby
hey, I
people
want.
Toyota.
Yeah.
All right, you go, Jimmy.
No, I'll wait. He's on one. He's on one.
It's a stealth deal.
Go ahead.
Oh,
So they have the biggest amount of people. You want to go put your show in China where you have the most opportunity to get people watching your show, and you talk about something that they don't like, you're not going there. I'll give you a great example. You remember in Top Gun, the first Top Gun, Maverick had a fucking leather jacket with all of his patches from all of his deployments. One of them was the flag of Taiwan. When they released Top Gun Maverick, they changed that jacket and took that flag off. Otherwise,
it
it
could
would
be
have
made
never
in
been
China?
allowed in China. Period.
oh, old Tom Cruise doing his little
so-
Scientology politics.
So look, I mean, the Chinese Communist Party has absolute influence on its own people, and it influences the rest of the world because of capitalism, right? So you want to sit here and talk about how communism is good. Communist states don't exist without capitalist states to trade with. And a great example is what's happening to Cuba right now. We stopped trading fucking oil with them. They don't got oil anymore. They're fucking collapsing. You're done.
Yeah,
It's over.
I heard that they have no more jet fuel.
Yeah, they're out. People have to. You can't land in Cuba anymore. You're never getting out.
Ha ha.
Dude, you want to hear one that's even worse? So
America
Venezuela just sold its first batch of oil, and guess what country they sold it to?
Venezuela. Oh wait, no, they sold it. They sold it to us. Cuba.
Israel.
Israel.
The first batch of oil that they could sell. Yeah. like so I can agree with Ryan and go, yeah, we really are fighting for the investments of certain people, but which ones are they? Are they the evil capitalists here in the United States, or is it the evil Israeli government, or is it a conglomeration and it's all bad? And maybe we're in the tribulation right now and Christ has not returned yet. I don't fucking know.
I want to ask
But
Ryan so many questions like, what are your thoughts on the Jews? But I don't think I'm ever going to get there because it's kind of fascinating talking to somebody on the other side. It's like talking to a fucking alien.
Yeah.
Tell me what's on your mind, dude.
We gotta bring Nick in.
Dude, I don't.
You know what?
Yeah. I don't have any issues with having a conversation with that guy, but I definitely won't just sit here and let him spouse his bullshit. That doesn't
I
mean
love
that I
it,
want
Jimmy.
him
No.
dead.
No, man. I'm an empathy guy, bro. I talk
Yeah.
to somebody for 20 minutes. I start fucking like looking around like, I need people like you to go, communism is fucking bad, Tyler. Bad
Yeah.
news. Bad news bears, bro. All right, Jimmy, we'll bring you on in just a sec. We're gonna bring in Nick.
What's
Nick,
going on, boys?
What's going on, man?
Nick, your last name's Prawl, right? That's how you say it.
Oh yeah, Yep.
Okay, so you'll recognize Nick Prawl from the comment section in YouTube. I'm gonna let Mike introduce him a little
Yeah,
bit.
just I want introduce yourself because I don't know what you want me to say or not say. I know you have a mission that you want to talk about, so tell us the background you want to tell us about and what you wanted to talk about here today on the show.
Sure. My name's Nick Prawl. I'm a vet. I really just would like to focus on a lot of these mental health crises with the police they're dealing with. There's a lot of bad shit that I'm seeing online. It's got me pretty fucking pissed off. Thanks for having me on. I've got
Absolutely.
a couple notes here that we can talk about. I want to get your takes on social workers dealing with some of these critical incidents because there's some serious fucking issues with it.
Yeah, that's how we started talking, was about the social worker stuff and your take on that. I know that's what you're going to school for that field, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and hit us with your notes and any questions you have for us, and we'll definitely interact with you.
Sure, yeah. So my first comment that I made on a video last week, I want to say was like Thursday or maybe Wednesday, probably Thursday, I want to say. But how can law enforcement in good conscience take on a lot of these mental health cases and they don't have any fucking experience dealing with people with mental health? Like they'll have maybe a little bit of psych background going through the academy, maybe from whatever jobs or their own personal mental health and stuff like that. But there's a lot of these issues where cops show up hot and heavy. You get a call come in like, oh, there's a vet in the parking lot. He's got a gun in his mouth. 6 fucking cops show up, or they show up at their house. 6 fucking cops with body armor and vests, guns out. Everybody's got their fucking gun out, lights and sirens, everything like that. You're just going to naturally raise the fucking stress in the situation. Like, what good does that do anyone? I guess I'm trying to find, is there a middle ground between having 6 fucking officers show up for a mental health call or 1 unarmed social worker without law enforcement? Because
I don't know that I would
my
ever
genuine
want.
question.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd ever want, because how fast it can change. So the social worker by themselves seems, maybe initial phone contact to go. You remember the liability is going to fall on law enforcement at the end of the day. If I respond and I say, go ahead, send the civilian in, that civilian gets taken hostage or murdered, the agency buys that. So there still has to be some level of law enforcement response. But I agree with you. I had an entity come in years ago when I was still at the sheriff's office that had this same exact idea, and it was have them call us. So if there's a critical incident, you forward that call from dispatch, still being monitored, but to the veteran health counselor that starts to create a dialogue. Because you're right, there's a lot of vets that don't like cops, and a vet in crisis, the last thing they probably want to see is guns and military style uniforms. So there should be a liaison, I believe, between just specifically veteran and police and some liaison, but I don't know that I would send them completely there.
Why does it got to be on the cops, Mike? Why do the cops still have to? At the end of the day, if society is going to rely on law enforcement to be the end all be all, to catch all of the repercussions, to catch all of everything, why do cops have to be there? Society handles.
They don't have to, but
it's not. You can't send me with a fucking civilian.
No,
because I don't want a civilian. When this guy whacks out and starts fighting with a knife, I don't want a civilian next to me that's already fucking running that way. I want 6 cops.
But you're talking about a guy like this. This guy has background in the military, so it's not just a civilian. It's not this kid that came out of college from a social worker program.
Why can't we have both? Why can't we have both?
I don't want both.
Social workers with
the problem with
personal.
The type, and here's the bit. We'll be real. We were both cops for years. The type of guy that's going to go work with a social worker is also not a real cop. And that's just my opinion. It's my opinion. I'm being cynical. But at the end of the day, those are the guys that want to do very little work and want to get out of the crime area and want to stop fighting. They're going to. So what they do is where I came from. There was a 2-man team. One's a social worker. One's a cop. They all work in the same little office together. First off, they only work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I'm sorry, people that go through crises don't just stick to the 9 to 5 rule. So at night it's back to road units responding like we always did. So it was more of a political ploy for our agency to be able to say they did it. They started off with a couple teams 9 to 5. It did us no good whatsoever in the long run.
I think the video we were talking about was the knife, right? The shooting with the knife in NYPD, where the guy, not the hospital one, the one in the house.
The one in the house, yeah.
Yeah. So imagine that no cop goes and that social worker encounters that. What did they do when that guy charges with a knife?
you're dead. There's no.
That's my
That's
point. The
I
cops
think
have
we're
to be
I think we're
involved.
both in agreement. I wish that there was a little bit more of a buffer in between, rather than, oh yeah, we'll take a 4'4" female who's 100 pounds soaking wet, send her to a possible violent call, or send a whole fucking SWAT team, kick the
Yeah.
dude's door in, and
Wait.
especially if
So are
it's
you
like a vet.
advocating for the 4'4" female?
No, he's saying that it's a bad
No.
idea.
Oh.
No, it's a horrible.
Oh, but
idea.
you're saying the SWAT team's also a bad idea too, like two extremes.
Yeah. I want.
Yeah. So
In a perfect
I
world,
mean-
I mean, it's not a fucking perfect world, but wouldn't it be a good idea to have some sort of mix hybrid, like have a social
Yeah,
worker and a couple
that's
other
what
cops
they're,
show up?
they're
on
trying
standby?
that. They are trying that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's
So I guess what you're saying here, let's go back. Let's Monday morning quarterback that one we're talking about. Instead of the cops walking through the door, maybe I don't know, like a good statured size social worker responds, that somebody has a background and tries to initiate
what's the
conversation.
size have to do with anything?
Well, you have to be. I
No,
mean,
at that point, we are done. If we have to have an intimidating social worker, we're bringing the cops, because
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about compliance because of size of the person. We're sending in a civilian if we
Yeah,
we
okay.
think that there's going to be no pushback. We think there's going to be no violence. We're going to send in a civilian. It doesn't matter. That's like saying, well, I only want 6 foot tall cops to come to my house. They'd send me, of course, but
blonde hair, blue eyes.
but that's what well, we don't have 6 foot tall cops. We've got fucking short 4 foot females. That's the one that's
Yeah.
coming.
So what?
Yeah.
So what is the answer?
Well, here's the one thing that I'll say that I know I have experience in both worlds. I'm a combat veteran and I was a law enforcement officer. I've responded to a lot of veterans in crises, and they do like veteran, so maybe finding the niche. Cops come from a lot of different places in life. Finding someone working on shift, get on the radio. Hey, has anybody got background in this? Yeah, why? Okay. Hey, give me a phone call real quick. The commander called, hey, dude, I don't know. What's your name? Deputy Smith? And he's like, yeah. He's like, hey, man, I got a guy who says he did this in his life. Someone tells me that you also have the same experience. Because all right, I'll be there. All right. So also what they're doing now is they're training every cop in CIT training.
Mhm.
And they are giving every cop as much training as they possibly can. So now your law enforcement are certified they're almost like a dollar menu social worker. They get a quick crash course, 40-hour week course to be almost like a temporary social worker until they can go there and like kind of establish what's going on. But at the end of the day, I will say this: veterans in crises do not like police officers coming into their house. That is one thing. So if we're going to actually talk about just kind of like pigeonhole it real quick with veterans as a niche, they do not like law enforcement coming to their house. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's kind of like I don't want to be oppressed. If I oppress people, I'm against the war, kind of like we were talking about Ryan, or if it's like an insecurity thing, like now we're the guys with the guns and you used to be the guy with the gun. There's all kinds of crazy shit. Or it's, I don't like the government. Why is the government in my fucking house? I didn't call for the cops. I called for, and I've done this before. I went to Iraq and now the fucking people are in my house invading, and there's all kinds of crazy shit. But at the end of the day, I don't think that veterans in crises particularly respond well to law enforcement.
I would agree with you. I mean, I know a lot of other vets that are very anti-government. You get out of the military,
Yeah, me too.
fuck, they screwed me over, and it's more common than most people would think. At the same time, I don't think that, I know a lot of people like this. You stick 6 dudes on a stairwell coming into their house, it's gonna be a bloodbath. Like a lot of times, that's gonna be the answer. I don't want that. So I guess I'm wondering, is there a way that we can navigate this better? Because I want the kind of cops that are vets to show up to these
Well,
calls with them.
You're someone that's kind of
talk to them.
spearheading this idea and getting it in the open, right? Would you
Yeah.
be okay with social worker goes up there, there's cops downstairs, one cop on the stairwell, not trying to stack stick. I know I'm just kind of sticking with your example. I get what you're saying, just generality.
That's
but I'm
exactly
sticking
what
with
I'm talking about. That's exactly what
Yeah.
I mean.
Would you be okay if that social worker was stabbed to death and that cop was stabbed, then the cop shot him, and law enforcement was downstairs the entire time? Would you at any point blame the police for that? Or would you say that's just a tragic, unfortunate world we live in with mental illness?
I would pinhole that, and if we can change that a little bit, there are a lot of states that are currently doing this with law enforcement on standby. I have a list here somewhere, but
No, but
Um,
I'm asking for that particular scenario. Would you blame law enforcement, or would you say, hey, that's just a fucking shitty world of mental health? It's just, it is what it is. You can't stop it all. Would you play? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people will say, well, no, I'm going to blame law enforcement. And that's why law enforcement goes, then step the fuck aside. We're going to handle it because we're not going to be blamed for it. Just like pursuits. People want to say, I want the cops to chase the bad guys till the fucking wheels fall off. And I go, would you be okay if they fucking careened and killed your entire family while you were at work? And they go, well, no, I would blame the cops. I'm like, okay, then so stop saying that. You want them to go chase people in this perfect world you live in. But if it happens to you, now if somebody wanted to get fucking real and goes, no, I would not blame the cops. That's just the fucking shitty world we live in as cowboys and Indians getting bad guys.
Yeah.
I listen to it all day. But that's kind of why I asked that scenario.
well, I mean, stuff like that's gonna continue to happen. There's a lot of issues that can be controlled, like keeping social workers away from the door. Like if you get the door open and you can talk through a door, create a space, have the officer there to shield the social worker if whatever happens goes south. There's a
But
lot
at
of
the end of the
gray
day, if we
area.
need shields, what the fuck do we need a social worker for? I mean, at the end of the day, if we're bringing shields out, I think we surpassed the social worker point. Am I wrong?
No,
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Your theory works, and where do you see most social workers? Large agencies that can afford to
Yeah, that's
the
true.
manpower. Here's what's going to happen, even in an agency my size. How can we go? And I hate to say it like this, but we go to that one crisis call, and you're going to tie up all these resources, and we're going to have cops down the hallway and cops waiting. What do you do with all the other calls for service? Because we don't have enough people.
Oh yeah,
So at some point, somebody goes, "Go get this fucking guy out of the house," or just leave.
yeah.
Like there's a point where if it's not a crime, we're going to leave.
I've done that a million times, and
And-
because yeah, you care about mental health until you're sitting on a burglary for 8 hours, and your shit's gone, and the cops show up, and you're like, yeah, sorry, sir. There's somebody in mental health crises. We're trying to give them everything. And they're like, I don't give a fuck, dude. This is the worst day of my life.
Yeah, my lawnmower's gone.
Go
My car's
fuck
gone.
yourself and your mental health
So,
issues.
so I guess the social worker thing works in maybe phone call I just don't feel safe sending a social worker up to that call.
If you need shields, it's already too late.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Yeah,
for
it's
social work.
It's just a slippery slope of
Because the way they're training law enforcement now, in theory, if it works, which it won't because it's the government, but
Yeah.
in a perfect world, if their theory works, they are going to have law enforcement, let's just say in 10 years, trained as social workers. They want almost cops to be just like they're good at firing their guns. They want them to be good at social working. But
Well, and most
to-
cops can't shoot for shit anyway. So
yeah,
No,
I mean,
they
that's-
very
can't.
true.
Totally
That is
can't.
also a good point. So that goes to my point that this won't work.
Yeah.
But that's their theory is that, well, we're just going to put the social worker into cop world. And it's going to take time. It's going to take years to make sure every cop.
and the other problem is blended personalities. You and I could go to the same call and it's going to end completely different just based on our personality. And that's, you have to factor that into what cop shows up. We could all be trained in the same level of mental health.
Yeah, but
right?
if I'm starving.
Across
and-
the board. Yeah. You're starving. You just left that burglary. All right, buddy, come on, man. Like, come out of the fucking house. I know you're having a problem. Let's go. Versus, hey, man, I understand I'm a vet as well. Like, let's get to it. Just, there's so many infinite factors that go into this that it's hard to pinpoint this is the way it's going to work because
yeah,
it's
not textbook. It's mental
and that
health.
social
I mean,
worker may handle 9 out of 10 perfect. When it doesn't go well, though, and the social worker's dead, that's a problem.
And I'm just being a cop for so long. I'm just a realist in the sense that there's just some parts of this life and this world that are just nasty and ugly. And I think even social workers after about 5 years in the job, just like a cop, they're like, there's just some things you can't control. And one of them,
Yeah.
we decided as a society that mental health asylums were not good. They're not humane. We just, as a society, we closed them all down. We're like, this isn't right to just house crazy people.
Mhm.
But now we're seeing what it's like with them on our streets. And we're having to live with that. Families disowning people. People go out and go, how could you disown? I used to be a cop and go, how do families disown their adult children and leave them out here? They leave them out here, disowned. And then somebody in my family went nuts and he lives out on the street. And I go, oh, I can see that now. I can see how it happens. I don't advocate for it, but I can see if it happened to my extended family, it could fucking happen.
what are you like? So what is you're learning about this and you're in school for? What is, when you see this come to fruition, what is it you want to see? What would be your perfect scenario?
If I can see the veteran suicide rates go down at least 10 people a year, I'd be fucking absolutely happy.
So how do you,
Because right now
I want to win,
it's
I want to win $1 million tonight at the
6,398
casino. How do I get there though? How do I get to that point of, how do we knock 10 down? How do we keep that number? How do we bring it down 10?
And no social workers dead.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable. A civilian dying for this is
So
unacceptable.
how do we get
Absolutely.
there?
The dialogue. And that's kind of what I want to do today. And let me be clear, like I saw some of the comments. I don't have a specific agenda. I wanted to come on and talk about this because I don't
Mhm.
think it's
Yeah.
being talked about enough.
No,
And I
I
should
agree.
make
Exactly,
you
you're
guys
right.
mad too. Like, I don't want to see anyone die. Like the whole
Yeah.
fucking Preddy, whatever his name is in Minneapolis, and the chick. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
agree with
Pretty
stuff
good.
that they do, but people dying is not fucking great.
No.
And
No.
we
Yeah.
shouldn't be so bipolar about it. Oh, he was a scumbag. He should fucking die. Nobody deserves that. But if
I
we can
agree.
actively work towards a better resolution, obviously something has to change. And we can
Well,
talk
and-
about
and-
making those changes.
Nick, and it's amazing that you came on here because you are literally the voice of like 98% of our country. That's like, there's gotta be a middle ground. It's the loud minorities on each side saying, fuck them, they shouldn't have been there, they made a stupid decision, let them rot. And then no, you can do whatever you want to police officers when you want to do it, it's my right. Like those people right there, all of us are in the middle somewhere
Yeah.
trying to figure out a solution to live amongst each other.
I constantly say that the majority just wants to go.
Simple Jack moment.
They just, the majority wants to go to school, to work, to
Yeah.
church, to the mall, and they don't want to get robbed, and they don't want to have a shooting in front of them. They just want to go exist. That's where we all stand. The problem is how do we get that? How do we get there? That's always the problem.
And I guess that's something that we continue, or we need to continue talking about just to
Yep,
work towards that. It's
Yep.
the dialogue, it's the conversation, it's the questions. We shouldn't have to feel antsy about asking questions. I'm a regular fucking dude. I'm not a cop. I'm a vet. I got out. I'm working a regular fucking job. I'm on my lunch break right now. But the fact that
Nice.
all these fucking people keep killing themselves and keep dying in critical incidents. I sent you the video of the can't remember her name, the lady that came out of her apartment and got shot in the chest. She was carrying a fucking water jug.
Where'd you send that?
I sent it to Mike in the
Oh,
email.
there you go. That makes sense. That's why it's not up here.
Yeah. Okay.
It is Fort Lee, New Jersey, Victoria Lee. She was shot and killed holding a water jug. This is from a few years ago, but I was just trying
Yeah.
to find some examples of like there needs to be some corrective action here. And you guys say it all the time, cops don't shoot, cops are fat. What the fuck is the answer? Because obviously nobody's being held accountable. It's like when
Well,
you're in the
with that-
military.
With that particular topic, we're lowering the standards in law enforcement because nobody wants to be protectors of society anymore. That's just it.
Who
Is what
would
it is.
be? They're alienated. Who would be? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And so now we're getting people that are not meant for the job that are now showing up to calls and shooting civilians in the chest with a water bottle.
No,
I
they're not ready for the job. And the leaders have come from a generation already. The first generation of promotions has already happened where command is in that same realm. And now we're hiring based on command having that mindset. And now we're bringing these kids in. So you're right. No,
What about somebody made a joke, send in C3PO, but honestly, what about a robot with telecommunication to a social worker?
I mean,
Here's the thing:
811
robots
calls
are
could do
fucking
that too.
stupid expensive.
send a robot into a vet in crisis?
Yeah,
Fucking, they're here. They're here.
I mean, you can call 988 anytime,
mean-
though.
You have 20
Yeah,
seconds to
anytime.
comply.
Because you can call 988 and talk to like telehealth, like with the VA. You get the cards
So
when you
you
come
think-
into the clinic.
So you think
that's
the
an
human to
option.
human interaction is probably preferred?
If the vet is alone, though, I'm warming up to this. The vet is alone by themselves in the house. We would leave anyway with any crisis. So what is the? You're right. Why press it? Throw a fucking phone through his window. Like, hey, buddy, here's your fucking telephone. Like, this person's going to help you. Because at the end of the day, if they're calling for help, they're not to the point of, in my opinion, not to the point of suicide yet. They're not there
No.
yet.
I
They're
would agree
reaching
with
out.
you.
They're reaching out. But can something that transpires in that moment lead to that last few minutes of somebody gets shot and killed? Cop, vet,
one
suicide.
One of these, a lot of people don't know this, Nick, but you might, since you're kind of like really interested in this field, is that we learned about what 5 or 10 years ago. We're not going to be the guys that pull the trigger. So if someone's in crisis and not complying, we will spend hours at the end of the day when a commander goes, wrap it up. We wrap it up.
Well, now
and
it's
we leave.
45 minutes. The standard is 45 minutes.
Because what happens is if we force entry to help you, we end up killing you. And we don't want to be the guys that kill you. And it is what it is. Police agencies have realized it's better that you kill yourself than us kill you. It's bad PR.
Well, most people that, like I just said, it all goes back to most people that are saying they're going to kill themselves on a call are going to. You're going to find them dead.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to know. But when they call, that's not the majority, and that's what the statistics have shown. That's why we don't go in anymore and don't press it, is they're calling in crisis to not kill themselves. But they're going to have a gun. They're going to threaten it. They're in crisis. But when you leave, the statistics show they don't go outside and like commit a mass murder or do anything crazy. They may kill themselves when you leave, but that, again, what you just said is unfortunately, that's the result of we didn't do it. And we tried to make contact. And we tried to negotiate, but it didn't work. Versus they don't usually run outside and start shooting the neighbors' houses up and acting crazy. They just eventually come out of the crisis. But once they're out of it, this is where a guy like you comes in, is like, how do we now, let's follow up. How do we have that conversation to get them the help they need?
Yeah. And
The one
there's
other
so
thing I will
much.
say,
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
the one other thing I will say is, in a hostage situation, this is not a practice for hostage situation. In that kind of situation, you got to be dynamic. You have to
No, that's it.
save
It's over.
the
There's
innocent people in there.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what I'm
This is
saying.
a
I
crisis.
just wanted to clear
This is
up any-
solo vet in crisis. This is a individual by themselves in a parking lot, in a house, in
And-
crisis.
Well, and I will say
Yep.
this too. Mike brought up a great point. So the behavioral health unit, they crisis team, whatever police department calls this, everyone's building something, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be the agency that doesn't have this team. So now it's a race to see who to build their behavioral health teams, right? Because if you're a podunk, Grady Judd, Fort Polk guy, and you're like, oh, I just killed this mentally ill guy, and somebody goes, well, where was your behavioral health unit? He goes, we don't have one. That's like saying I don't have body cams anymore. You can't say that. If every other police agency is building it, you got to build it too. So, but when they do their follow-ups, like I'm a patrolman. I go and I talk to you and I say, hey, buddy, I'm going to take you in to get seen. Okay. And you comply. And I take you there, release you, you get your health that you need, your mental health evaluation that you need. I do a report and I send it to these people, right? These people are supposed to check on you. They're supposed to monitor your hospital stay as quick as they can. They're supposed to see when you get out, and they're supposed to meet you at your residence in a very informal conversation. They knock on the door and they ask to talk to you and they ask how you're doing. In theory, that's how it works. But there's so many fucking people claiming mental health these days that they just get swamped. And now it's like the VA. Who needs it? Everybody needs it. Well, okay. Well, if everybody needs it, now we got to start sifting through the people that are bullshitting to actually get the people that need help, because they're standing in a crowd of people going, I need help. So the mental health units are getting swarmed because now in society, me and Mike can't show up to your house and go, you're full of shit. You're not gonna kill yourself. Have a good day. Because if you kill yourself, we're going to fucking prison.
Yeah, and you'll have a homeless guy at the corner that's hungry and cold.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, I'm hungry and cold. I'm gonna go get my 3 days in the mental health ward. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna do it, and then
We got to take you.
And then there's a guy that down there that's having a crisis. We go, the beds are full, man. Like, sorry, what do we do? What do we do?
Yeah.
It's a real.
We're too
problem.
what would you call that? Cover our ass type thing. Everything's so CYA now in cop work that if you really shouldn't. As a cop, I would highly advise just take somebody if they say, don't try to sit there and get out of it. Don't go, I mean, are you really going to do it? Because if they go,
Yeah, but be careful. Don't press it though.
oh, take them. You can never get in trouble.
Don't
for
take
taking
them. No, but I'm saying if they're in a house or something, you got to remember now what they're saying is there's this. I'm not going to drop it all the way because I like the guy who was involved, but I know a person who killed somebody in a mental health call. They would be in prison today in that same call. They're not a bad cop. They're not a bad person.
They did?
They killed somebody. Yeah, because they went in what we don't do anymore. They pressed into the house to go to the person on the second floor that had a knife and killed them. Do you do that today? You're gone. You're gone.
What if they have a boiling pot of water?
You're gone. You're gone. So when you say take them, yes. If you're standing on the side of the road and the guy says, I'm going to kill myself, he's got to go. You can't hold that liability. But why are we changing the response to a home? You're right. The cops should have that same leeway and go, you're not going to fucking kill yourself, dude. Whatever. I'm not going to tie up a
Are
bed
you going to
for a
come
homeless guy.
outside? Nope. All right. Have a good day.
But in the house, you're okay with that. But when you're standing in a parking lot, you just said it. You got to take them. Well, do we? Do we? Because now what are you going to do? Go hands on. Now he fights.
You can't
Now
get
you crack his skull.
Yeah, I've always said that. We'll chase mental health people down. Someone says, I'm going to kill myself, and they take off running. We got the fucking chopper up. We broke every unit. Everybody's fucking racing and chasing him and chasing him. What happens when you get him? Are you going to beat him up? Right. I remember I was sitting in briefing when I always say this. I was the guy in briefing that would ask questions and people would go, there was a guy, they were like, hey, day shift's out with this guy. They're looking for him right now. Day shift's wrapping up. We're going to go out there. We're going to deploy. We're going to replace them. And this hunt for this guy, they know he's running around. He's going to kill himself, but he's on foot. And I go, okay, so he's running from us. Yeah. They got the bird up. And I go, so what happens if we get him? Do we beat him up? Do we fight him? And everybody was like, no. I'm like, why are we chasing him then? Because he's not going to comply. He's not in the right state of mind. And I was like, I don't have the answer. I'm just stating that if I start chasing somebody and I spear him in the back, he's going to fight me. And then I'm going to fight him. Am I doing him any good?
Correct.
And I don't have the
but
answer.
now we've determined in a house, we drive away and leave.
So we should do that in the open.
Yeah. Yep.
Bye.
Yep.
Don't hurt anybody else. We're good.
Boom, you just missed that opportunity. The car just went by. Boom, you just missed another
Yeah, dude,
opportunity.
do it.
You haven't jumped yet. So yeah, I'm being funny there. Sorry. But it's a problem. And there's really no answers. But I think for your specific veteran answer, you're on the right track. We should put a little bit more, and there should be organizations and people that are, hey, I'll help with vets. I can't help with everybody, but your concern is vets, and that's good because you are one. So in our veteran community, you are correct that we should, if VA is going to pay for all these benefits and pay for everything else, we should have some type of veteran organization, and the law enforcement officers, agencies should listen and say, let's call them and get them in touch quickly. So maybe a vet to vet, non-law enforcement, non-suited, kitted up looking soldier can maybe interact with this guy. So I do agree with what you're saying.
And there's a lot of veteran organizations out there. There's a lot that don't do shit. They just take money. Because the federal government or the State Department, they give them a shitload of money. Where do you see that money go? Like Wounded Warrior Project got in trouble a few years ago. A lot of these companies you see, oh, well, we're here for veterans. When all the veterans are outside going, where the fuck is my help?
Yeah.
Like, that's a conversation. And I thank you guys for having me on. I just,
Absolutely,
like I said,
man.
I wanted to talk about this because it gets brushed over a lot. And people don't really look at it and go, that's kind of weird. All right, next topic. Like,
no, stay in touch. Keep pushing it, and as we get it, maybe we can, the same way we're trying to get these other topics in law enforcement administrations. This is an important one to also start getting in, because if there are people volunteering their time or being paid by a veteran organization that's legit that are willing to go to agencies, we can't obviously. You can't save everybody, unfortunately, but if there are veteran organizations that are funded to go help with at least veterans, let's start there. And I agree with that mindset and that topic. And we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate what you're doing. We appreciate going to school to actually learn about this so we can try to bring this awareness. And like you said, 10 is better than none. If we can get 10 down a year, we got to start somewhere.
yeah. But I mean, thank you guys for having me on. Mike, I'm still waiting on my fucking war hat. Where the fuck is it?
It's coming, right?
It's coming from China,
No,
bro.
it's not.
It's
No, it's
coming from
not.
China.
I can tell you where it's at right now if you want.
No. Nope, that's all right. No, I got the
Keep
updates.
waiting.
But thank you guys for having me on. Like I said, I've been watching this show since like fucking 2023. It's awesome to see what you guys are doing. Fuck the other guy with the beard and the cigars. He can fuck off.
I didn't say
but yeah, I
that.
love what you guys are doing, man. And then Rob O'Neill, if you want to sue me, I know who killed Bin Laden. It was fucking Jimmy Watson. Said it on Instagram. So,
All right,
see you
Nick,
guys
man,
later.
thanks for joining. Stay in touch.
yep, bye.
All right, bring on Jimbo. What up, brother?
What a fantastic guy that is. What a fantastic human. What a
Yeah.
fantastic human.
He wants to help, man. And
Estimated delivery February 14th. For his hat.
Valentine's Day, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day, I was clapping back pretty hard, and then I realized I have all that inner experience of like that frustrating as it just does. But
You're just an asshole.
he's out here trying. He's asking questions that all of us, the 98% of people not on either side, are like, why can't this just work? Like, why,
Not to be confused with the 99%, which is the boys.
The boys.
Yeah.
The boys.
Well, I mean, dude, I mean, is it just veterans? I mean, I think there's a lot of people going through a lot of crises right now. I mean, we're specifically.
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
what I was
veterans.
trying to tell him is that I respect the fact that he has life experience in a niche, and he's going to help that niche. He's not going to be able to help fucking any other type of person, but he can help vets, and if you're, I don't really know.
I mean,
and
you know,
white people
the
have fucking problem.
the question I would have asked him is, what actual help do veterans get? Right? What actual help? Can we go to the VA? What is the VA going to do? The VA is going to throw pills at us. That's what they do. Right?
Yeah.
Can
At least give me
I sit
50%.
They're a little bit better with the mental, at least counseling. I know they're throwing counseling at people. They're getting into
They're giving
EMD.
counseling?
They're getting in EMDR, the light
Okay.
counseling. They're getting into one-on-one counseling. If that works for you, we talked with Reagan before. Like
Yeah.
talking counseling doesn't always work, but they're getting into psychedelics.
Yeah.
They're getting into EMDR. But you're right. But to say it, Jimmy, like I get, everybody needs help. This guy happens to be in that veteran lane, so being a veteran police show, it's like I get where he's at. But yeah, the whole world needs help. So
Dude, I
if
mean,
he can at least help one area is where I think he's trying to get.
and I'm totally cool with that because, like I was saying, veterans need a lot of. I mean, fucking veterans and cops, dude. If we could just fucking help the people that we put into traumatic situations by the course of through a societal contract, we have said, hey, this group of people over here gonna suffer the biggest amount of fucking trauma of just what they see, what they deal with, what they have to do. These guys, and what did we give them? Nothing. Here's the culture. The culture is alcoholism. The culture is fucking suck it the fuck up. The culture is you're going to be on board until one day you're not, and then you're alone. And what are you going to do? You're going to go off and die. That's what you're going to do.
You're right. And I'm going to go my soapbox, though, because that's all for vets. That's what police have.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I put the cops in there. I put cops.
But at least the vets have VA and rated disability, and that's where I go with this Heroes Act I'm trying to draft. Is cops have nothing. There is no VA for cops. There is. I told you. I know a guy. Jack got fired for having cancer. He got fired. He had to resign. A guy I work with, double shoulder injury. He got to the point where they said, "Sorry, bud, you're out. You're done. Good luck. Go get a job." Well, my fucking shoulders are broke from fucking on-duty injury.
Civilian job?
They do, but dude.
But you'd be the first one to say if he's not fit for duty, he shouldn't be a cop. So what
Correct.
else are they supposed to do?
That's where the Heroes Act comes in. He should be paid. Okay, here's your civilian job. You were making 110 grand as a cop plus overtime. You're making 150. Go working records for 40 grand.
No. I'm not. So it's a money thing.
Yeah,
like
you shouldn't, because if
you're not trying to say he should be out.
No, he's not be on the street. He should be home and paid in full because he did his job and injured.
So like VA disability.
Correct. Because if he did get offers a records job. A topped out deputy at our agency makes 85 grand. A record starts at 40. Yeah. So, hey man, you lost half your money. Good luck with the truck payment. Good luck with your mortgage, but go over there and shuffle those papers all day for me.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, piece of shit. Why'd you get fucking hurt arresting somebody?
Yeah.
So it's like, what does he do? He should. That's where there should be a version of VA for law enforcement, and we can learn from the VA mistakes where maybe they missed a boat on it, and the system didn't go well diagnosing people. But there should be something for cops in the same form of VA that says, "Hey, bro, sorry you broke your fucking leg to the point you can never be a cop again. We're not going to take half your fucking salary from you and penalize you. We're going to give you the whole thing
for life."
Yeah,
and be a federal thing though.
It should be. I don't think it should be federal because federal.
No, FRS can pay for it. FRS can pay for it.
Oh, yeah, but you think everybody's retirement's going to be fucking fucked with?
Do you know how much money FRS has? The number, it's like the most successful retirement in this fucking world.
Oh, damn.
How about this? How about if I told you this? Right now, we contribute as cops, we contribute 3% of our salary. What if I told you, I'm going to make you contribute 4%, 1 extra percent. But if you get injured in the line of duty, you're going to live good the rest of your life. Every cop would opt into that.
Every cop would be trying to get injured in the line of duty.
That's where we have to have some checks and balances.
I would fall off every roof. I was ever on.
Absolutely. I would first foot pursuit. I'd be like, oh my God, I saw Tyler throw up from his Chipotle today. I am mentally ill and I need PTSD. Yes, they're going to be people that abuse it. So we got to learn from all that. But somewhere in that world of, in that middle is we got to protect our cops.
All right, guys, that's it for the show. Went a little bit over today. That's totally fine. Make sure you tune in tonight. Counterculture Inc. YouTube only for the night shift. We will see you then. And if you don't see it at night shift, we will see you tomorrow for Casual Friday, 11 a.m. Thanks, guys.
JV team for life.